Hey guys! This is part 2 of What If Naruto was Madara's grandson. Hit like and subscribe if you like this one, and also please check the author in the description. Let's start! Chapter 12, Mission to the Wave. The past few days flew by with Kurenai's team. They would train in the morning and do a couple of missions in the afternoon. Obviously, Naruto always complained since Naruto wanted to test his skills in the real world, but Hinata was always present to bonk him in the head. Who would have thought that of the little shy Hinata? Kurenai was very surprised with the skill level that Naruto and Hinata displayed. If she had to judge, then the Kyuubi nailed it by saying they had Jonin level skills. Their team was in fact comprised by one Jonin sensei, two green Jonins, and a poor genin lost in the middle. Naruto, Hinata, and Kurenai would never leave Shino behind, so they began focusing more on him so he could be brought up to speed. Naruto, with the help of Kurenai, started on Kage-level exercises for his chakra control. He had 2 exercises that he needed to do to bring his control to the highest level possible. The first was waterfall climbing. This exercise allowed, when mastered, the user to control vast amounts of chakra with great precision, since climbing a waterfall is extremely hard. The last exercise allowed one to have perfect chakra control, almost rivaling Tsunade the Slug Sannin. This particular exercise was rather practical to perform. The user deposited a chunk of sand with multiple colors in his hand. The point of the exercise was to separate and align the sand by color using only chakra. It was considered mastered when the user managed this in less than 10 seconds. Hinata didn't have any weakness per se. She had overall good skills, whether it be in taijutsu, ninjutsu, genjutsu, or even kenjutsu. Her chakra control was flawless since it was a basic requirement for her juken, gentle fist, or her own version, the flowing fist. Shino, however, was another different level. His taijutsu was low genin level since he was a long-range fighter, their typical weakness. His ninjutsu was the 3 basic academy jutsus coupled with his clans. His genjutsu was non-existent. Overall, he was about mid-genin in skill. However, they would change that. Naruto placed a few restriction seals on him since it was too abrupt if he started using gravity seals. They decided to start his elemental training since everyone on his team already had theirs mastered. Surprisingly, he had earth and water, both defensive elements. His team was the perfect storm of offense and defense. In fact, his nature served him well above anyone else. As a long-range fighter, normally his weakness would be close combat, which was solved by his training and affinities. Along with all this training, they also did teamwork exercises. One of the things that made Konoha as the strongest in the elemental nations was their notion of teamwork and loyalty above all else. Their teamwork was excellent, neither of them had any problems with each other. Currently we find Team 8, or Team Kurenai, heading towards the Hokage's office after a morning of training. I should clarify the last statement. It was training for Naruto, Hinata, and Kurenai, but for Shino one would call it torture. The poor genin was driven to the ground in order to gain the physical attributes he needed. Hokage's mission assignment room. The old Hokage was sitting in the middle of the table smoking on his pipe while handing missions to the shinobi. To his left side was Iruka, the school teacher of the students of Team 8. The Hokage was deep in thought, remembering his prime, the thrill of the fights, and the adrenaline pumping through his system. Not many shinobi have the privilege of growing old. The shinobi's life expectancy was actually around 30 years, and reaching old age was very rare. However, any shinobi that reached such age began to reminisce all they did in their life. Shinobi since birth are trained to fight, and fight they do. It is all they know throughout their lives. There is no greater death than death at the hands of your enemy in the midst of battle. However, being taken by old age, it isn't something any warrior would want. Hiruzen Sarutobi, 3rd Hokage of Konoha and hailed as Shinobi no Kami, god of shinobi. The man that had seen 2 great ninja wars and lived has been reduced to nothing but a paper pusher. Don't get me wrong, he loved his village and his place as Hokage, but his time was nearing its end. It was time to pass his hat and have the younger generation assume his place. He was snapped out of his thoughts when he saw Team 8 walking through the door. It always brought a smile to his face seeing Naruto and even Hinata. He was like a grandfather to both of them since Hinata was expelled by her father. He didn't know why, but Naruto's smile always managed to cheer him up no matter how depressed the man was. Naruto was, for lack of a better word, a bundle of happiness. It surprised him how, despite the glares and hatred he received, Naruto managed to keep a cheerful and loving personality. Team 8 reporting for mission, Hokage-sama, Kurenai said, bowing to the Hokage. Even though the Hokage was clearly old, he still was a very powerful shinobi and one of the strongest in the Leaf Village. Team 8, welcome. Let's see what we got here, the Hokage said, receiving the D-rank mission scrolls from Irika. We have cleaning Inuzuka's kernel, capturing Tora, helping an old lady move to a new house. The Hokage never managed to finish. Old man will take catching Tora, Naruto said, smirking. The Hokage raised an eyebrow. No one liked chasing that damned cat, and Naruto already done it in the past. Are you serious, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked, not really in the mood for running after a damn cat. What people don't know is that Tora is actually a Ninenko, ninja cat, trained specifically for helping genin teams with their teamwork. Just trust me, Naruto replied, picking up the mission scroll. Hey old man, what is the record for catching Tora? Naruto asked with a knowing grin. I think it's around 3 hours, but why do you ask? Do you intend to break it? The Hokage asked. Something like that, Naruto replied. He went back to middle of the room and took a small scroll from his pocket. He unrolled the scroll to show a small intricate seal in it. He placed it on the ground. Naruto bit his thumb, drawing blood, and slammed it in the seal, saying, Kuchios no Jutsu, summoning Jutsu. There was a poof of smoke. When the smoke cleared, in the middle of the scroll was Tora. The Hokage's eyes almost popped out of his sockets, and Naruto just laughed at everyone's expression. Mission accomplished, Hokage-sama, and I believe it's a new record, Naruto said, laughing his ass off and delivering the cat to the Hokage. How did you do that, Naruto? Kurenai asked. Even she had to chase that damn cat in her genin days. I already had to chase her a few times in the past, and somewhere along the way I got tired and placed a summoning seal in the cat. So I just offer a bit of blood and chakra and I can summon Tora through the seal on this scroll, Naruto explained, and the Hokage and Kurenai just nodded dumbly. Kurenai-sensei, since I already got Tora and set the record for about 15 seconds, do you want another mission? Naruto asked. Kurenai didn't have time to answer, as suddenly there was a puff of smoke in the Hokage's desk, revealing a small dog. He had brown fur and wore a Konoha high-tie around his head. A dog? Naruto asked, wondering who it was from. This is Pakin, a messenger and tracking dog from Kakashi, the Hokage explained. Hokage-sama, I have a message from Kakashi, Pakin said, handing the Hokage the scroll. The Hokage opened and it said, Hokage-sama, our client, Tazuna, lied about the mission parameters. It appears that the wave is under Gato's control and he wants Tazuna dead. We were attacked by the demon brothers Gozu and Meizu of Kirigakure, and we defeated them. We decided to continue. However, I request backup since most likely we will be attacked again, this time probably by Jonin-level Nuke Nin, Missing Ninja, Hataki Kakashi, Jonin-sensei of Team 7-inch Team 8. The Hokage started getting their attention. It appears that the C-rank mission I sent Team 7 to was bumped into a low A rank. Kakashi requested backup, so I'm sending you. He will explain everything when you meet with him. Dismissed. HAI, Team 8 said. Okay team, go home and get your supplies, meet me at North Gate in 1 hour. Kurenai said. They all left the room and went to prepare for their first A rank. North Gate 1 hour later. 1 hour later, Team 8 gathered in the North Gate getting ready for departure. Kurenai inspected everyone's supplies as it was the duty for a Jonin sensei. Okay, team, before we depart, everyone has their supplies? Kunai, shuriken, food, first aid kit, soldier pills, Kurenai asked and got a nod from everyone. Since we will be traveling at high speeds, we'll reach Team 7 in a couple of hours. However, we don't know which route Kakashi took, so we will be taking the main 1-inch, Kurenai said. No need, sensei. Do you still have the message Kakashi sent? Naruto asked. Yes, I do. Why? Kurenai asked, wondering what good it would do. Naruto bit his left thumb, drawing blood and spreading across his right hand palm. He went through a few hand seals, boar, dog, bird, monkey, ram, and slammed his hand on the ground and said, Kuchios no Jutsu, summoning technique. There was a poof of smoke, and when it cleared, in front of him stood a medium-sized brown fox with 5 tails. Flashback. Hey Kit, come into the seal, I want to talk to you. The QB said. Naruto was currently 10 years old. He sat on the ground in the lotus position and started meditating. After a few seconds, Naruto stood in front of the QB and was currently laying on the ground beneath a large tree. You need something, Kurama? Naruto asked. Actually, Kurama was the QB real name. It appears that young Naruto grew on the QB and he trusted him with his name. I'm giving you your birthday present, Kurama said, smirking. Is it a big flashy jutsu? Naruto asked, excited. During Naruto's birthday, October 10th, Konoha always celebrated the Kyuubi defeat by the Yondaime. Some of the villagers would gather up and try to harm Naruto, so his birthdays were always a dark day for Naruto. But the Kyuubi, Hinata, and the Hokage always managed to cheer him up. It's a great technique and you will be the first to use it. I trust you will use it wisely, Kurama said, and in front of him materialized a rather big scroll. This is the summoning contract for the Fox clan. Open it and write your name in blood in the first slot, Kurama explained. Naruto did as he was told. He opened the scroll and bit his thumb. He wrote his name in the first slot and pressed all 5 fingers down, making a handprint. Now, to summon the fox to help you bit your thumb and go through these hand seals: boar, dog, bird, monkey, ram, and pour chakra into the technique. Give it a try. Kurama explained. Naruto did the technique, and when it was over, in front of him stood a small fox. Thanks, Kurama, you're the best, Naruto said. Of course I am. I'm the 9-tailed fox, king of the Bijou, strongest being in the world, Kurama boasted about himself. You still have that stick up your ass, Naruto said, laughing while dodging the Kyuubi tails that were trying to smash him. End flashback. Naruto, you need help? The fox asked. Yes, Kinto, we need to track Kakashi-sensei to provide backup. This paper has his scent, Naruto said, and gave the paper to Kinto so he could track him. I have him when you are ready, Kinto said, and Team 8 dashed out of Konoha heading towards Team 7. I didn't know you could summon Naruto, Kurenai said. I have the fox summoning contract. It was a gift from the Kyuubi, Naruto explained, getting a nod from Kurenai. She didn't want to pry too much. Few hours later, with Team 7 had just left the boat that they used to cross into the wave. Everyone was walking at civilian pace since they had Tazuna with them. Tazuna was, as he put, a super amazing bridge builder. They were traveling in diamond formation, Sasuke in front, Sakura and Kiba to the sides, and Kakashi in the back with Tazuna in the middle of them. They were walking calmly, but they had their guard up since Kakashi warned them about a possible Jonin encounter. Suddenly Kiba sensed someone in the bush and quickly picked and threw a kunai into it. Baka, stop applying with kunai, Sakura yelled. I'm not playing, I thought someone was there, Kiba replied, and went to check the bush only to find a small white rabbit. Kiba, you idiot, you almost killed this poor rabbit, Sakura said, and that sent Kakashi thinking. White fur on spring, that's strange, unless with was used as a kawarimi, substitution technique. Get down, Kakashi yelled, and everybody hit the deck with Kakashi dragging Tazuna. Just as he yelled above them, a huge broad metal sword flew by their heads and got stuck in a tree. Moments later, on top of the sword appeared a person. He was a tall and noticeably muscular man with pale skin, short spiky black hair, brown eyes, and small eyebrows. He was wearing bandages like a mask over the bottom half of his face. Under his mask, he had a relatively narrow jaw line and jagged teeth. He wore his forehead protector sideways on his head. What's this? A bunch of kids playing ninja, the shinobi said. Momochi Zabuza, A-rank new Kinin from Kirigakure, known as Demon of Kirigakure, Mist Village, Kakashi said, preparing to face him in battle. Oh, look if it isn't Sharingan no Kakashi, the shinobi, now identified as Zabuza, said. Just hand me the old man and you can go. You know I can't do that, Zabuza, Kakashi said, and lifted his high-tiet, revealing a fully matured Sharingan in his left eye. I get the Sharingan right in the beginning, I'm honored, Zabuza said, removing his sword and making a few hand seals. He said, Kirigakure no Jutsu, mist technique. The air started becoming thicker, and after a few seconds the whole area was covered in a thick mist. Kakashi barely managed to see his own hands right in front of him. Team, keep your senses sharp. Zabuza is a master of the silent killing technique, Kakashi said, and his entire team shivered. I demand you show your face, Zabuza, and face me, Sasuke yelled. A Jonin was someone he could try his power on, and once he defeated him, he would be closer to killing his brother. Are you serious? Zabuza asked rhetorically, projecting his voice around the area not to reveal his position. Zabuza started unleashing Ki, killer intent, and Sasuke started shivering. Sasuke couldn't take it anymore and brought his kunai to his neck, preparing to kill himself. Relax, Sasuke, I won't let my teammates die, Kakashi said, reassuring his team. Suddenly Zabuza appeared in the middle of Sasuke, Kiba, and Sakura that were guarding Tazuna. He brought his sword and started a horizontal slash, ready to kill them all. However, Kakashi was faster and impaled Zabuza, revealing him to be a Mizu, water Bushin. Another Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi, and cleaved him in half only to Kakashi burst into water. Zabuza, seeing this, suddenly felt sharp metal to his throat. He slowly turned and saw Kakashi with a kunai ready to kill him. However, Kakashi wasn't expecting this Zabuza to be a clone. Seeing the Zabuza in front of him burst into water, he looked around only to be met with a fierce kick to his stomach, sending him crashing into a nearby lake. Zabuza shined to Kakashi and went through a couple of hand seals and said, "Suetun Sura no Jutsu, water prison." The water around Kakashi started to erupt and circled around him, trapping him. Zabuza stood there with his hand on the water sphere holding Kakashi in place. "Shit, I got caught," Kakashi thought. "Everyone, take Tazuna and run. His Mizabushins can't go too far from the original," Kakashi said. His team was in a bad place. He could only hope his backup arrived in time. "Zabuza can't stand up to me, I'm an elite," Sasuke said and dashed forward, heading to the enemy. Zabuza created a few Mizabushins. Sasuke engaged in a taijutsu fight with him but quickly realized it was a bad idea. Sasuke couldn't keep up with Zabuza's speed and strength. The battle was over quickly when Zabuza gave a strong kick to Sasuke that sent him crashing to the trees hard. Sasuke couldn't even get up and could barely breathe. "You should have run when you had the change. You can't even scratch me," Zabuza said. The arrogance of that boy got him killed. Zabuza clone picked his sword and went to finish the job. Sakura was shaking, she barely managed to stand up, and Tazuna was already on the floor. His legs gave out. Kiba, seeing Sasuke in danger, ran towards Zabuza. Sasuke may be an idiot and an arrogant bastard, but he couldn't let him be killed. Kiba, arriving near Zabuza, went for punch, but Zabuza simply caught his wrist and with the other hand lifted Kiba by the neck and started punching him relentlessly. After a few punches, he simply threw him to the ground. Zabuza was making his way to Sakura, who was still frozen in place. Sakura knew she couldn't match Zabuza. She only graduated because of her good chakra control and book smarts. All hope seemed lost until Zabuza heard, "Katan, Ryuka no Jutsu, Dragon Fire Technique." Zabuza didn't have time to dodge as a stream of hot fire came from the woods, completely obliterating the clone. In front of Tazuna and Sakura arrived Naruto, Hinata, Shino, and Kurenai. Naruto looked around and it didn't look good. Kakashi was trapped inside water prison and Sasuke and Kiba were on the ground injured. "Quick, gather Sasuke and Kiba around Tazuna and Sakura," Naruto said, and Kurenai and Hinata quickly picked up both Sasuke and Kiba and regrouped and Tazuna. "Kuchios no Jutsu, Summoning Jutsu," Naruto said, slamming his hand on the ground, and in a poof of smoke appeared a small fox with light red fur with 4 tails. "You must be our summoner, Naruto-sama. My name is Kagura, a medic fox," the fox said. "Nice to meet you, I need your help. Sasuke and Kiba seem injured, I need you to help them as you can." "I'll cover you," Naruto said. "Fox summons, where did he get the contract? I need to talk to him if we get out of this," Kakashi thought. Kakashi actually already knew Naruto since he sometimes watched Naruto from afar, trying to make sure he was safe. After all, Kakashi was one of the prized students of Yondaime Hokage. "Kagebushin no Jutsu," Naruto said, and 4 clones appeared. They went their separate ways, making a square around Tazuna, Sakura, Sasuke, Kiba, and Kagura. "Ninpu, Shishianjin, Ninja Art, 4 Flames Formation," the clones said at the same time. Suddenly a purple barrier erupted around them, making sure that Zabuza couldn't get inside. A/N, the same barrier the Sound 4 used during Leaf Invasion. "Don't touch the walls, otherwise you will get burned. The barrier will stay up for your protection," Naruto explained. "Oh, a genin who knows Fuinjutsu. Maybe you are better than the rest," Zabuza said, creating couple more Mizabushins. Inside the barrier, both Sakura and Tazuna sighed, happy that backup had arrived. Kagura was currently healing them. Sasuke had cracked ribs and ruptured lung, while Kiba had a few bruises and dislocated shoulder. Outside the barrier, "First we need to release Kakashi from the prison," Kurenai said, and her team nodded. The Mizabushins made their way towards Kurenai's team, and one of them said, "Kirigakure no Jutsu." A thick mist appeared, blocking the view of everyone. Hinata activated her Byakugan but couldn't see much, as the mist was laced with chakra. Naruto activated his Sharingan and extended his senses, trying to find Zabuza. However, he felt the presence of someone watching the fight. That person was around Chunin's skill based on chakra levels. "Someone is watching. Since he didn't help Tazuna, I can only assume he's with Zabuza," Naruto thought, and discreetly using hand signs warned his team about another shinobi watching. "Futon de Tapa, great breakthrough," Naruto and Hinata said at the same time. They breathed in air and sent a strong gust of wind that pushed the mist away completely, making Zabuza frown. Each member of Team 8 separated and engaged in the clones. Naruto quickly destroyed Zabuza's clone with a fireball, and taking this opportunity he took a kunai, charging it with right-on, lightning, chakra. He threw it at the woods with extreme speed. The shinobi who was watching didn't expect that, and didn't have time to react, and the kunai embedded deeply in his shoulder. The shinobi, seeing he was caught, jumped into the fight, and took his side by Zabuza. "How did you know about Haku?" Zabuza asked, surprised that they found Haku. She was rather skilled in stealth. "N Haku is a girl. I still can't see her as a guy even in canon. We are a team of trackers. I'm a sensor, so when you used your Kirigakure no Jutsu I extended my senses and found him," Naruto explained. "It doesn't matter, let's end it now," Zabuza said, and Haku went through a few hand signs. Slamming her feet into the lake, she said, "Sensatsu Susho, 1,000 needles of death," and sent 1,000 water needles towards Team 8. "Hinata," Naruto said just above a whisper. "Hi," she replied, and jumped in front of her team and started spinning. She started releasing chakra from all of her chakra points. "Hakushikaten, heavenly spin," she said, and a blue dome of chakra appeared around her, deflecting all the needles. "Looks like I'll have to start training my team seriously," thought Kakashi. He was infusing his lungs with chakra, trying to gain as much time as he could. Team 8 quickly dispatched of the Mizubushins. Naruto and Hinata went through a few hand signs and they said, "Katan, Ryuka no Jutsu, Dragon Fire Technique," Naruto said. "Futon de Tapa, Great Breakthrough." Hinata said Naruto Fire Attack combined with Hinata's Wind Attack, and the result was a massive stream of fire that went quickly towards Zabuza. Haku didn't have enough time to use Water Jutsu because of her injured shoulder. Both of them jumped away, making Zabuza release his hold of the water prison, freeing Kakashi. Kakashi tried to regain his breath as he jumped towards Team 8. "Thanks," Kakashi said and crouched. "Haku, we are leaving," Zabuza said and shined away with Haku. He knew he wouldn't stand a chance. He was up against Yuhi Kurenai, Konoha's Genjutsu mistress, but also the blonde kid and the Hyuga girl seemed good, and besides that, Kakashi was now free. Naruto dropped the barrier and went to check up on his injured teammates. "How is everyone?" Naruto asked Kagura, who was finishing healing Kiba. Sakura was surprised how strong Naruto and Hinata were and how they worked well together. "I already healed them. Their injuries weren't life-threatening. This one," Kagura said, pointing to Sasuke, "needs to take it easy for a few days. He had a ruptured lung. Tazuna, take us to your house. Zabuza will be back and we need to be prepared," Kakashi said, and they left with Kurenai carrying Sasuke as he couldn't make any effort and was still unconscious. Tazuna's house a few miles down the road, and Team 7 and 8 arrived with Tazuna at his house. The house itself was near the ocean and seemed a simple wooden house. Tazuna led the shinobi inside. "Tsunami, I'm home," Tazuna said, happy that finally got home. "Father," Tsunami said, hugging him. "I'm relieved that you are all right." Tsunami was a very beautiful woman. She had mid-back dark blue hair and black eyes. She wore pink shirt with red sleeves and dark blue skirt. "It's thanks to these shinobi. They saved me," Tazuna said. Tsunami approached his protective detail and bowed, saying, "Thank you for protecting my father, Shinobi-san. You are welcome to our house. We appreciate it. Is there anywhere we can lay 2 of my students who got injured in a fight?" Kakashi asked. Tsunami nodded and led the leader Jonin to the rooms upstairs. "Sakura," Kakashi said, getting her attention. "Tomorrow we will start training more seriously. We need to be prepared for when Zabuza returns. Since Naruto injured his teammate, it will be a few days until he's ready. How come a little bit of training is going to help against the Jonin?" Sakura asked, wondering as her sensei was trying to kill her. "Sakura, who was it that saved us?" Kakashi asked rhetorically. "If I remember correctly, the genin of Team 8 actually put up a fight against Zabuza while Kiba and Sasuke were simply hammered away," Kakashi explained, making Kurenai smirk inwardly. "Fine, but I still don't understand how a few days will help us," Sakura kept pressing. "Any training is good for you. If you have to face Zabuza, at least let's raise the odds even if slightly," Kakashi said, to which Sakura finally nodded. Kakashi get up and approached Naruto, who was chatting with his team. "Naruto," Kakashi said, getting Naruto's attention. "How do you know my name?" Naruto asked. "You may not know, but I actually watched over you sometimes when you were around 4 years old," Kakashi said. "Inu dog?" Naruto asked, remembering an Umbu with a dog mask sometimes helping him with the mob's problems before he met his father, and the whole training began. That I am, he replied, giving his traditional eye smile. Come, Kakashi said, placing his hand on his shoulder. We need to talk privately. Naruto nodded and they both shined to outside of the house into a nearby woods. Naruto and Kakashi in the woods. Kakashi and Naruto arrived in the woods via the traditional leaf shunshin that Kakashi used. That shunshin, it's really starting to get old. Why don't you use an elemental shunshin? Naruto asked. Pretty much all of Konoha always used the leaf shunshin, and while it got the job done, it was, for lack of a better word, lame. Kakashi raised an eyebrow to what Naruto just asked. Can you do the shunshin? He asked, to which Naruto nodded and used his lightning shunshin to teleport to a few meters away. Kakashi was actually surprised to see a genin use the shunshin no jutsu, much less an elemental version. I see you can, Kakashi started. And by the looks of it, you already have the lightning element mastered. How? Naruto studied the man for a moment. Even though he helped him several times when he was young, people tend to change. After a few seconds, he found no deception. He decided to answer him. I've been training myself since I was 5 years old, Naruto replied, and Kakashi was actually surprised to see someone without a clan training in such a young age. However, he quickly remembered his burden and he needed to be strong to withstand all the hate of his village. I see, maybe I can teach a few lightning jutsus since my affinity is the same, but we are getting off topic here. Kakashi started. How can you summon foxes? Kakashi asked. Naruto froze, wondering if he should tell him the truth about the Kyuubi. There are many people that tried to get close to Naruto to finish him off, however he decided he should trust him. It was a gift from the Kyuubi, Naruto said, making Kakashi glare at him. Suddenly the air between the two dropped a few degrees. Naruto, Kakashi started in a very serious tone, however Naruto didn't even flinch. He was already used to it from the villagers and simply shrugged it off. The Kyuubi attacked our village and almost destroyed it. You cannot trust him. Naruto, hearing this, really started cursing his luck. It was always the same. Every time he met someone and told about the Kyuubi, everyone told him him couldn't be trusted. Kakashi-san, the Kyuubi was being controlled by the Sharingan and was forced to attack the village. It wasn't his fault, Naruto said, and Kakashi's visible eye widened. Only Uchiha Madara managed to control the Kyuubi, and he was long dead. Kakashi studied Naruto for any signs of lies but found none. However, he decided that he should talk to the Hokage about this new development. Better make sure. I'll trust you, but keep in mind that foxes are very cunning, Kakashi said. Kakashi-san, remember that if it weren't for the medical fox I summoned, Sasuke probably wouldn't have made it. Naruto stressed, and Kakashi nodded, seeing it was probably true. You remember me of the Yondaime, always seeing good in everyone, Kakashi said, reminiscing about his genin days where he was always a fool until his best friend died to save him. Yondaime? Naruto asked, wondering how Kakashi knew him until it finally clicked. One of the days Naruto was wandering through the Namake's compound, he found a picture of his father's genin team. There was a silver-haired boy with mask covering bottom half of his face, a pretty girl with brown hair and 2 red marks on each cheek, and lastly a boy with black spiky hair, black eyes and orange goggles. Naruto turned the picture and it said Namake's Minato, Hatake Kakashi, Inuzuka Rin, Uchiha Obito. Naruto yelled, making Kakashi jump. I remember now. You were on my father's genin team with Rin and Obito, right? He asked. That's right. Your father, Kakashi said, stuttering. Naruto was the son of the Yondaime Hokage. How could he be so blind? For the love of God, he's pretty much a carbon copy of him. How the hell has Konoha been so blind? He should have been there for his sensei's son. He should have done more. Oh shit, Naruto said, knowing that he let that part slip up. Naruto started panicking on the inside. It wasn't supposed to reveal it yet. Kakashi-san, you can't tell anyone until I reveal it, Naruto said. Don't worry, I know very well why you can't say it right now, Kakashi said, easing the boy's worries. And I am sorry. I should have been there for you. If I had known, I would have taken you in, Kakashi said with his head down. Don't worry about it. I wasn't so bad. If you had taken me in, I wouldn't have met Hinata-chan, Naruto said. Kakashi perked up and asked, Hinata-chan? Hinata's father disavowed her from the Hyuga clan when she was 8 years old because she was weak, and since then she has been living with me. Besides, she's my girlfriend, Naruto explained, and Kakashi actually broke out in a fit of giggles. If you are thinking what I think you are, I'm going to hurt you, Naruto said, breaking Kakashi of his perverted thoughts. Okay. But she will be stunning girl in a couple of years. You did well snatching her while young, Kakashi said, and Naruto growled, to which the Jonin simply ruffled his hair. Actually, I was wondering if you could tell me about my parents, Naruto asked shyly. I asked Hokage, but he never had really prolonged contact with them. Of course. I knew them very well. For starters, I can tell you that you adopted your mother's obsession for ramen, Kakashi said, laughing and getting a smile from Naruto. And so they talked for a few hours. Kakashi told everything he knew about them, which was most about his father, since he knew him better than his mother. They talked and the hours were passing by without either of them realizing it until the sky was already dark. Well, Naruto, I think it's time we get back. It's already getting dark, Kakashi said. Thank you for telling me about them and Aizen, brother, Naruto said, feeling like he bonded with Kakashi. After all, since Kakashi's father's death, he grew close to his sensei. The yondaime was the closest thing he had for a father. Nisen, you say? Okay, let's go, Otuto, younger brother, Kakashi said, ruffling his hair and leaving the forest with him. The next day after the teams arrived, we find everyone quietly enjoying breakfast prepared by Tsunami. They were eating until Kakashi decided to break the ice and explain a few things. Everyone, Kakashi said, getting everyone's attention. After this, we are going to train as I explained to Sakura yesterday. Zabuza will be back and probably bring some help, so we need to be ready. We will alternate between protecting Tazuna at the bridge, protecting his family, and training, Kakashi explained, and everybody nodded. They continued eating for a few minutes until everyone was finished. Sasuke was already getting better from his injuries and could walk, however he still couldn't anything too physically stressful to the body. Sakura, Sasuke, Kiba, Naruto and Hinata will come with me to train, while Kurenai and Shino stay and protect Tsunami and Inari. After the train, I'll take some of you to the bridge to protect Tazuna. Everybody agree? Kakashi asked, and everyone nodded. A few minutes later, Kakashi's team accompanied by Sasuke and Kiba left the house for training. In the woods for training. Okay, now we will train chakra control, Kakashi said. Chakra control? Sakura asked. Yes, we all know how to call upon chakra, however you don't know how to properly use and manage it. By doing this exercise you will be able to last longer in fights and learn new jutsu faster, Kakashi explained, and Naruto wondered what type of exercise it would be. Now I'll be climbing trees, Kakashi said, and Naruto's sweat dropped. Kakashi and Aizen, don't tell me you brought your team into an A-rank mission without even teaching them proper chakra control, Naruto asked, and Kakashi actually felt ashamed of not teaching more personal skills. Don't sweat it, Dobe, we already know how to climb trees, Sasuke said, and Sakura agreed. Naruto just shook his head, knowing that Sasuke didn't understand the point of the exercise. Actually, I focused more on teamwork exercises. You know how Sasuke and Kiba act. They are both brash and tend to jump into situations without thinking, Kakashi said, and both Sasuke and Kiba scowled. Wait, you called Kakashi-sensei an Ai-san? I thought you had no one, Sasuke asked. He's not actually my brother by blood, but we are both orphans and we both look at the same person as our father, Naruto explained, and Hinata raised an eyebrow. She knew who Naruto's father was, which means that Kakashi must have been close to the yondaime. Enough chit-chat. What I want you to do is focus chakra to the bottom of your feet and walk up the trees. When you can walk to the top 2 times in a row, we'll move on, Kakashi explained. What do you mean walk up the trees? Sakura asked in all her infinite wisdom. Like this, Naruto said, and started walking towards a tree. When he arrived near one, he simply placed a feet in its trunk and started walking up. Everyone in Team 7 minus Kakashi was shocked seeing Naruto walking vertically. Oh Naruto, you already know this chakra exercise very well. Kakashi and Sasuke seethed his teeth. Dobe, how did you do that? I demand you teach me. Sasuke and Naruto just ignored him. He already knew Sasuke all too well from the academy. Sasuke believed everyone should be grateful that he allowed them to breathe. Didn't you hear your sensei? Naruto asked rhetorically. You need to channel chakra to your feet and run up the tree. Exactly. Take these kunai to mark your progress. Hinata, I assume you already know how to do this? Kakashi asked, and Hinata nodded. Yeah, Hinata-chan, watch me. I'll get this down in 1 hour, Kiba said, bragging to her. Kiba, I already told you that I'm with Naruto-kun. If you opened your eyes, you would see that there are other girls that may like you, Hinata said, and Kiba frowned. Maybe she was right. Team, get started. Naruto, Hinata, you are coming with me to the bridge, Kakashi said, and they nodded and started walking to the bridge to protect Tazuna. You never know if Zabuza would try a sneak attack. At the bridge, everyone in the bridge was peacefully working. It was a bright sunny day, and the air itself was rather warm due to the ocean's breeze. Kakashi was reading his traditional orange book and giggling like a crazy person. Naruto just sweat dropped when he saw him pull that book. Hinata was simply leaning in the bridge watching the ocean, and Naruto appeared to be working on something. Kakashi raised an eyebrow and decided to know what he was doing. Hey Otuto, what are you doing? Kakashi asked, getting Naruto's attention. The blonde had both hand palms slightly apart from each other, and he appeared to channeling right-hand chakra between them. I'm working on a jutsu I'm creating. If it works, it will pack quite a bang, Naruto said, grinning, and Kakashi raised an eyebrow. Naruto reminded him of himself when he was young. After all, he graduated as Jonin when he was 13 years old, and had already created his own jutsu. That's not easy, you know, Kakashi said. You will never know until I try it, Naruto replied. Naruto decided to take a break and help in the bridge. Hey Tazuna, Naruto yelled, getting the old man's attention. I'm tired of doing nothing. Can I help? Naruto asked. The more the merrier, Tazuna replied. But before he could continue, Naruto placed his finger in a cross sign and said, Kagebushin no Jutsu. And out came around 100 clones. Kakashi's eyes widened, seeing the number of clones the blonde could do. Hinata just shrugged it off, as it was a normal scenario when they were training. Okay Tazuna, tell them what to do, Naruto said, and Tazuna just nodded dumbly. And Naruto, how can you make so many? Kakashi asked, still in shock. One side effect of being a Jinchuriki is that you develop massive chakra reserves, Naruto said, and Kakashi glared at him, pointing to Hinata that was nearby. Don't worry, she already knows everything about me, including my legacy, Naruto explained, and Kakashi sighed. The work on the bridge went extremely well with the help of Naruto's shadow clones. If he continued helping, the bridge should be done in 2 weeks. Later that day, Tazuna's house, the group sat down to eat dinner as a young boy came in and shot a disgusted look at the group of ninja before declaring how they were all stupid to face Gato and were just going to die, which Naruto angrily refused was the case. What would you know about pain? I bet you have all lived sheltered lives in that ninja village of yours. You don't know what suffering is, the young boy yelled after Naruto had denied what they were doing was futile. So what? Things are bad, but you know what? I have had it much worse. You still have a mother who loves you and a grandfather, a house to keep you warm, and food every night. You don't know what it's like to be hated in your own village for something that is out of your control. You don't know what it's like to be beaten and kicked out of shops and forced to go through the garbage for food. You think your life is bad, fine, but don't just sit around and moan about it. Do something about it. Fight back. Don't be a coward. Kakashi-sensei, I'm going out to clear my head. And with that, Naruto stormed out the front door. Hinata got up and quickly followed him. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto's life couldn't have been that bad, right? He has to be lying to get attention, Sakura asked. No, Sakura, everything he said was true. Naruto was kicked out of the orphanage at age 4 and lived on the streets for months before I found him and took him to the Hokage. The Hokage gave Naruto an apartment, but he had to learn everything for himself, and was constantly being beaten and kicked out of stores. And that is the watered-down version, Kakashi said, shocking the group in the room. Even Hinata, she was expelled from her own clan when she was 8 years old because her father deemed her too weak and unworthy of being the heiress of the clan. But luckily they found each other, Kakashi said, and everyone started looking at them in a new light. They were brave kids that didn't back down. Tazuna's house roof, Naruto stormed out of the house and made his way to the roof to gaze upon the dark sky. He needed to forget his previous argument with the spoiled kid. A few moments later, Naruto saw Hinata approaching but said nothing. Hinata made his way towards Naruto and sat beside him, resting her head on his shoulder. Neither of them said anything and continued to look at the stars in a comfortable silence. Until Hinata decided to break the ice. You really shouldn't blame him, he's just naive, she said, trying to ease Naruto. It's just, we all suffered. Me being a Jinchuriki, you getting expelled from your family, and even Sasuke getting his whole clan killed by his own brother. Compared to us, he has a good life, Naruto replied. It's true we suffered, but not everyone has the strength to move on and forget the pain. If it weren't for you, I would probably still be the same shy, weak girl I was. You were the one that gave me strength. Look at Sasuke, his pain drove to becoming obsessed by revenge. Hinata said. You are unique, Naruto-kun. Hinata continued. People that get to know you pull strength from you. You are my beacon of hope. You just need to be it for this kid too. She said. I'll do my best, Hinata-chan. He replied with a small smile, pulling her closer. Now that I think about our lives, you never took me out on a date. She said. Naruto was caught by surprise by this, but she had a point. In a relationship, it's usual for couples to go on dates. I never really thought about it, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. We could use the time we have here away from hateful glares of Konoha. How about tomorrow I take to dinner? Naruto replied with smirk. I would love to, she said, giving a kiss on the cheek and dragging him inside as Naruto has calmed down. Next day, 7 p.m. The next day after they set up their date went by normally. Everyone trained with Kakashi and Kurenai, however both Naruto and Hinata trained away from them since they were more advanced. Today the charge of watching Tazuna on the bridge fell on Kurenai with Team 7, and to say they bored was an understatement. Sasuke actually seemed ready to go on a killing spree just to pass the time. He wanted to train, but he got stuck with watching Tazuna, a few workers and crap ton of Naruto clones working on the bridge. Sasuke seethed his teeth when he arrived at the bridge and saw all the clones Naruto did. That power should belong to him since he needed that to avenge his clan. It doesn't matter, only an Uchiha can defeat an Uchiha, Sasuke thought. Only if he knew. Currently we find Naruto and Hinata getting ready to go on their first date. They asked for permission to Kakashi and Kurenai since they were on a mission. Neither of them had proper clothes other than their shinobi attire. The only difference was that they left their headbands at home, signifying that they were off service, if one could call it that. They walked through town deciding on where to eat. When they arrived at the center of the town, both of them were shocked. This town was poor. There was people asking for jobs, kids living on the outside, and even the resources the markets had to sell were scarce and of very poor quality. Gato had pretty much destroyed this small town. At least if their mission was successful and Tazuna managed to finish the bridge, they would be able to recover from this. Not how they decided to spend their first date, but they already loved each other. This date wasn't much. They were walking, watching the various shops and restaurants, trying to pick a good place when they heard some yelling in the middle of the streets. Quick, old man. We already told you that you need to pay up, one of Gato's men said. There were two guys trying to collect payment from a shop owner who was on the ground looking terrified. But I already paid this month, the shop owner replied. Boss said that you sent more merchandise for shipping, so you need to pay more taxes this month, he said. If you can't pay up, we'll take your wife as payment, he concluded, and started physical assault on the man. Naruto and Hinata, seeing this, jumped into action. In a swift motion of punches and a few kicks, Gato's men were running away bruised and bleeding, wondering how two kids managed to do this. Kuchio's no jutsu, summoning no jutsu, Naruto said, and in a poof of smoke appeared a small one-tailed black fox. His name was Kyofu, and he was a spy fox that extremely skilled in stealth and information gathering. What you need, Naruto? Kyofu asked. I need you to follow those two men and find where Gato's base is and any other information you can, Naruto explained, and the fox dashed out of sight. Naruto turned to Hinata. Shall we continue? He asked, extending his right arm, which Hinata took and pulled him closer. Finally deciding where to eat, they entered and found the place was welcoming and warm. It wasn't a fancy restaurant, but they didn't care for that. During their lunch they tried to talk, however they already knew everything about each other. It was a rather strange date, as most went by in silence, so they simply ate in a comfortable silence. When they left, Naruto decided it was still early, so he decided to drag Hinata to local cinema and watch something. A couple hours later they arrived at Tazuna's house. Their date didn't go that well, but they didn't care. After all, the point of the date was to spend some time together. Since the mission started, it was either training or guarding Tazuna. 1 week later, 1 week had passed, and the teams were preparing for the showdown at the bridge. It was a terrifying sight for any civilian to see a shinobi getting ready for a fight. The ground was filled with weaponry, kunais, shuriken, saban, flash tags, explosive tags, ninja wire, giant shuriken, and even Naruto's sword was out of his storage seal. He decided to carry it in his back since he could need it at any time. Everyone ready? Kakashi asked, and everyone nodded. The fox Naruto had sent to gather information and spy on Gato paid off. The fox found out that Zabuza would attack today since Haku was already healed from her shoulder wound, as was Zabuza from chakra exhaustion. Since Gato plans to betray Zabuza when the fight is over, he may well send someone here. If he does send, they probably won't be shinobi, Kakashi said and brought his hand to his chin and started pondering who to stay back, keeping in mind that he would face Zabuza and Haku. How about we leave Sakura, Hinata and Kiba here, since they have good taijutsu and they can easily take out any thugs Gato sends. The rest will go to the bridge. I can engage on Haku with Sasuke if necessary. Kakashi-sensei and Kurenai-sensei can take Zabuza while Shino provides overall support and protects the client, Naruto suggested. Kakashi pondered. Shino will in a tight spot if either Zabuza or Haku split past us and rush the target, Kakashi pointed out. Naruto considered this scenario. I can put the same barrier as last time, besides Shino can control his bugs from inside the barrier, right? Naruto asked, and Shino nodded. It's good, well then everyone stick to the plan. Tazuna, you are ready? Kakashi asked, and Tazuna weakly nodded. After all, Tazuna would be bait to draw them out. Everyone started moving out, and before they left, Naruto gave Hinata a brief kiss while whispering, Good luck, if you need me here, use the ring. And Hinata nodded. On the bridge, Tazuna was approaching the bridge guarded by Kakashi, Kurenai, Naruto, Sasuke, and Shino. They entered the bridge and there was already a mist in the air. Naruto discreetly activated his Sharingan while placing the usual genjutsu on it. They made their way to bridge, moving as silently as possible. Well, everyone minus Tazuna, who was sweating bullets and breathing hard just from fear itself. Naruto, using his Sharingan, could see glimpses of 2 chakra sources. They are already here, both Zabuza and Haku. Just about 100 meters away, Naruto said, and everyone stood in their guard. How do you know that? Kakashi asked. After all, Kakashi's sensing abilities weren't that good, and he was considering summoning one of his dogs. I'll tell you later. Can't tell with Sasuke here, Naruto whispered to his ear, and Kakashi nodded. Now isn't the time for chit-chat. They continued walking until they stood a few meters from each other. Kakashi, we meet again. I'll enjoy the bounty on your head, Zabuza in a dreary voice. So many places to choose from. I can slit your throat, stab into your heart, destroy your lungs, burst your kidneys, or break your spine, Zabuza continued saying while unleashing a lot of killer intent. Kakashi, Kurenai and Naruto seemed immune to it, while Shino and Sasuke were sweating and Tazuna was already in the ground as his legs gave out. Naruto saw Zabuza move from his spot, but he didn't have time to warn his team. He picked up his sword and jumped in front of Kurenai, blocking the Kubikura Bocho. You are very good, kid, to manage to find me, Zabuza said. Not many people manage to keep their head cool enough to think in these situations. Sometimes even Jonin would get caught. If it weren't for Naruto, Kurenai would already be dead. Say goodbye to your Miss Zabuza, Naruto said, going through a few hand signs and unleashing a gust of wind that blew the mist away, getting a frown from Zabuza. I really hate wind users, Zabuza said, shouldering his sword and getting ready for the attack. As we planned, everyone take their positions, Kakashi ordered. Why should the dobe fight while me and Elite will just stand and watch? Sasuke said in his typical arrogant tone. Now is not the time, Genin, Kakashi said in a very serious tone, making Sasuke gulp. You will stay with Tazuna outside the barrier and only jump in if Naruto needs. Are we understood? Kakashi asked, and Sasuke nodded. Get ready, Kakashi said. Tazuna retreated with Shino. Naruto made 4 shadow clones that formed a square around them and said, Ninpu, Shishinjin, Ninja Art, 4 Flames Formation, and erupted a purple barrier with Tazuna and Shino inside and Sasuke on the outside. Kakashi and Kurenai got closer, preparing to fight Zabuza, and Naruto with his sword on hand prepared to face Haku. Zabuza said a few water clones that surround Kakashi, Kurenai and Naruto. Naruto turned to Kakashi, and he gave him a nod. Naruto disappeared in a burst of speed, and 1 second later every single clone burst into water. Looks like you found your rival in speed, wouldn't you say, Haku? Zabuza asked. It looks like that, Haku replied and dashed towards Naruto. Naruto, seeing this, gripped his sword tighter and started running towards Haku. They met roughly at halfway and started exchange a few blows, neither of them gaining advantage. Naruto would easily block every single attack, however he didn't manage to land anything either. They found themselves in a standstill. Naruto was blocking Haku's kunai with his sword. Haku, seeing he had one hand occupied, started going through single-handed hand seals, and once finished said, Sensatsu Sway Sho, flying water needles of death. And immediately 1,000 water needles formed from the clone's water and started raining on Naruto. Naruto, seeing this, knew he hadn't many options to avoid it, and decided to test his new eyes and the power he learned to use. He shifted his eyes into the Manjikyu and said, "Kamui, might of the gods." Naruto made his body intangible, and everyone watched in awe as well as fear as every single needle passed give through Naruto's body, exiting in the opposite side. "It's not possible," Haku said. "You aren't a Bunshin. I can feel your chakra and your sword is pressing against my kunai," she explained. "Well, that's one of my most powerful jutsus," Naruto said, smirking. He used this moment of distraction and gave a powerful kick to Haku's chest that sent her flying and crashing into the ground near Zabuza. Zabuza was still wondering how the kid managed to do that and also beat Haku in speed. "You are really good for a genin," Zabuza said. Kakashi laughed and said, smirking, "Zabuza, what if I told you that Naruto here is actually the dead last?" Zabuza's eye widened. The brat couldn't possibly be the dead last. That or Konoha's has been seriously training their genin. "Zabuza, before we begin our real fight, I have a proposition for you," Naruto said, and Zabuza raised an eyebrow. "What do you want?" Zabuza said, wondering what the kid meant. "I heard that Gato plans to betray you once you get the job done. He plans to kill you and Haku once you kill Tazuna so he doesn't have to pay you. So how about we join forces and kill Gato, and in return you can come back with us to the Leaf?" Naruto explained, and everyone raised an eyebrow. "Naruto, you just can't offer asylum to a missing nin like that," Kakashi said. "Kid, you are crazy. What makes you think I would join the Leaf?" Zabuza asked. "I bet you are tired of all the running and having to keep looking for missions just to live. And I know the old man well enough. Both of you can be great assets to the village." "Zabuza is one of the 7 swordsmen. Haku has the ice release," Naruto said, and silently Zabuza agreed. Both of them were tired of the constant running and they wanted a place to settle down. "How do you know about my bloodline?" Haku asked. "She didn't reveal it last time they faced each other. Did you really think we would just train while apart? Information is half the battle, so I sent a fox to spy on Gato's warehouse and he found you training," Naruto explained, and they both scowled. A jonin getting spied on without realizing it. Be that as it may, but I still have a reputation, and in my place it's all I have. We will fight, and if Gato appears to finish me off, then we join forces, and then I'll decide if we'll go to the Leaf," Zabuza said, and Naruto nodded. If Naruto was lying, which Zabuza wouldn't now, Zabuza would be destroying his reputation by betraying his client. Immediately Haku started going through hand seals and said, "Maku Haishu, demonic ice mirrors." All around Naruto, ice mirrors started forming, trapping him in an ice dome. Haku walked to one of the mirrors and simply entered the mirror itself as if she became nothing more than a reflection. Inside the ice dome, inside the dome, Naruto could see that Kakashi and Kurenai were already engaging Zabuza. Even for both of them, Zabuza was no pushover. Naruto needed to get over with his fight in order to go help them. Also, Sasuke was around, and he knew that if they needed help he would jump in. Uchiha pride and all. Funny, Naruto was an Uchiha, but even though he had pride in his blood, he was never arrogant about his power. Naruto focused on his battle and noticed that every mirror around him had Haku's reflection in it. He noticed that each Haku was holding 3 senbons in each hand, getting ready to attack. Naruto's eyes widened when he realized that Haku was much faster now. If he didn't have the Sharingan to track her movements, we would need to resort to higher level attacks. Haku looked at Naruto surprised. "You are the first person to ever dodge my attack when they are trapped in this jutsu." Naruto simply smirked. Haku continued her relentless assault, switching from mirror to mirror while launching countless senbon to Naruto. This went on for a few minutes. Naruto would simply dodge all senbons without even needing his kamui. "How are you dodging my attacks?" Haku yelled, finally losing her cool. "You can't win, this jutsu spends a lot of chakra and you already getting low," Naruto simply said. "Shut up!" Haku yelled and charged at Naruto as fast as she could, but Naruto's Sharingan could still follow her perfectly, and saw her every single muscle movement in slow motion as she charged. Naruto took the opportunity and grabbed her by the hands, throwing her into one of mirrors. Suddenly, near where Haku landed a kunai with an explosive tag. The tag exploded and Haku braced herself for the impact, not getting too much damage. Naruto looked to see who threw the kunai, and found Sasuke inside the dome. "What are you doing here?" Naruto asked. "I figured a dobe-like would need help," Sasuke said with his trademark arrogant smirk. Haku took this opportunity and threw a few senbon to Sasuke. Naruto noticed the senbon incoming towards Sasuke. Naruto didn't have enough time to reach him, so Sasuke got it by the Senbon and fell limp in the ground. Naruto's eyes widened and he ran towards him. Naruto looked at him and noticed that the Senbon hit his neck in a non-vital area, and using his Sharingan he noticed that his chakra network was still active, so Sasuke was probably in death-like state. Naruto decided to finish this battle and said, "Katan, Gakkaku no Jutsu, great fireball technique," and launched a fireball into one of the mirrors, seeing if it would be enough. To his surprise, the fireball impacted the mirror, but it remained there as if nothing happened. "You can't defeat my technique with such low-level attacks," Haku said. "Then let's take this up a notch," Naruto said, and made a single Kage Bunshin, and both went through a few hand seals. "Katan, Goryuken no Jutsu, great dragon fire technique," Naruto said. "Futon de Tapa, great breakthrough," Naruto's clone said. The combination of a B-ranked Katan ninjutsu powered up by the wind jutsu, and the result was a big fire dragon rocketing towards the mirrors. Haku tried pumping more chakra to his technique, but it wasn't enough. The pressure of the dragon, coupled with the tremendous heat, made the ice dome explode, sending Haku crashing hard into the ground in pain with burns, and her mask cracked. "Forgive me, Zabuza-sama, I cannot defeat this boy," Haku thought, coughing a bit of blood. Naruto approached Haku, still weary as she still could attack. Naruto made a few hand seals and said, "Chakra seal." Placing his hand on Haku, he blocked her chakra and tied her up with ninja wire. He went to see how the other battle was going on. Outside of Ice Dome, few minutes earlier, Kakashi and Kurenai were about to face Zabuza. Kakashi pulled up in headband, revealing his Sharingan. "Sharingan again?" Zabuza mocked. "Be proud, Zabuza, you the first enemy to ever see it twice," Kakashi said, and started going through hand seals. "Katan, Gakkaku no Jutsu, great fireball technique," Kakashi said, and sent a fireball towards Zabuza. Zabuza didn't even budge. He went through hand signs of his own and said, "Suetun Sujin Hiki, water wall," and created a water wall that blocked the fireball, creating a cloud of steam all around. Kakashi ran forward and engaged Zabuza on taijutsu. Wrong move, as Zabuza was stronger due to being used to use his big broadsword. Kakashi sent a low kick, making Zabuza jump up. Kakashi tried to capitalize on this with a punch, but Zabuza blocked it. Zabuza jumped back just in time to block a barrage of shuriken sent by Kurenai. "Suetun, Suryudan no Jutsu, water dragon," Zabuza said, and sent a big water dragon towards Kurenai. She got caught in the ground and was sent crashing into the wall hard, disabling her momentarily. "Kurenai," Kakashi yelled, and made his towards her to check on her condition. When he arrived near her, she was regaining consciousness. They made up a battle plan that would end Zabuza when they heard an explosion coming from the ice dome. Naruto, they both thought. But what both and Zabuza saw was a big stream of fire coming from the dome, with Haku flying towards the ground and Naruto simply walking out of the ice dome, now practically all destroyed. "The brat managed to defeat Haku, is no ordinary genin. He must be at least Jonin to defeat Haku without getting hurt," Zabuza said, watching Naruto tie Haku up and making his way towards his battle. "Need help?" Naruto asked, not even slightly winded. His massive chakra reserves weren't even slightly spent, he was practically full. "Sure, Kurenai got hit. Let head rest for a bit while she prepares," Kakashi said, and Naruto started sinking into the ground. "How many jutsus does he know? Is a fresh genin, and so far I already saw big Katan and Futon jutsus and now low-level Doton," Kakashi thought. Something where was out of place. Zabuza had his guard up. If one thing he knew was not to underestimate the blonde kid. He managed to easily defeat Haku. Suddenly he felt a presence behind and turned, but he was too slow. Naruto emerged from the ground just behind Zabuza, and in his hand was a blue ball of chakra. "Rasengan," Naruto said, slamming the blue condensed ball of chakra into Zabuza until he burst into water. "Shit, water clone," Naruto thought, and turned to see Zabuza with his sword ready to chop in half. "This is the end, kid," Zabuza said, and brought his sword for an horizontal slash to chop Naruto in half. "Naruto," Kakashi yelled. Naruto activated once again his Kamui. He got to admit it's a kick-ass power that most likely confuses enemies to no end. Zabuza was watching as his sword was phasing through Naruto, and leaving his body without a scratch. When the sword left him, Naruto gave Zabuza an uppercut, and jumped back near Kakashi. Zabuza regained his balance. "What the hell is that attack?" Zabuza asked, getting pissed off. He never saw anything like that. "That's for me to know and for you to find out," Naruto said smugly, making Zabuza even more pissed off. Suddenly a tree started growing behind Zabuza, trapping with its branches. Megan Jubaku Satsu, tree binding death, Kurenai said, making the tree grow and snaring Zabuza in place without chance to escape. You are too dangerous to be left alive. What I'm about to show is my own personal jutsu, Kakashi said, and started gathering a great amount of chakra in his right hand. The chakra changed into electricity until it started producing a loud sound. Kakashi dashed forward, intending to end Zabuza's life for good. Chidori, 1,000 birds. He was about to slam it against Zabuza when he heard, "Look at that, the demon defeat by a punk," some man said in the far side on the bridge. Kakashi stopped his assault, disabling his Chidori, and said, "Gato," with distaste. "What are you doing here, Gato?" Zabuza asked, getting the impression the blonde kid was telling the truth. "I'm here to kill you. You are simply too expensive when I can buy a few thugs that get the job done," Gato said, smirking, thinking he was untouchable. "Surrounded by 50 thugs all equipped with weapons. Release me, we are no longer enemies." "You were right, kid," Zabuza said, and Kurenai left her illusion down. Zabuza picked up his sword and was about to rush into Gato when Naruto placed a hand in front of him, making Zabuza confused. "I want to try out the jutsu I've been developing," Naruto said. "Hey, old man Tazuna, how are you supplies to finish the bridge?" Naruto asked. "I've got plenty, why do you ask?" Tazuna said, getting confused. "Kakashi-sensei, Kurenai-sensei, Zabuza, you are about to watch my very first creation, watch closely," Naruto said, and everyone wondered what he was going to do, even Sasuke, who just got up a few minutes ago. "You really think you can defeat us all?" one of the thugs said. Naruto simply smiled. Naruto brought his hands closer and slammed them against each other and started concentrating. He slightly separated his hands and started concentrating right-on chakra between them. A few seconds later, the right-on chakra started shrinking into a small perfect light blue sphere. Naruto sent the sphere into the sky and it expanded into a flash of light, immediately gathering clouds in the sky. Thunders could be heard as the sky started to get darker and heavy rain started to fall. As the thunder intensified, everyone watched and wondered how the kid managed to make it rain without much difficulty. "Is this how you are going to kill us? Rain?" Gato said. Everyone thought that what he was doing failed, but Naruto simply smirked. Naruto concentrated right-on chakra in his right hand and sent a small beam to sky, and everyone watched was a massive lightning dragon gathered in the sky as if waiting for command of its master. "Watch closely," Naruto said, and brought his hand down, commanding the dragon to attack. "Right, and Kirin," Naruto said. The dragon left the sky and rocketed towards Gato and the thugs with such speed that everyone only saw a glimpse of light before the bridge, where Gato was exploded with tremendous source that everyone had to gather chakra to its feet just to don't get blown away. Everyone watched in awe at the power of such jutsu. When the dust cleared, there wasn't nothing left where the thunder landed. In the place where Gato and thugs were was now a big hole. Even the bridge itself was blown to bits. "So much power," Kakashi said as he watched everything with his Sharingan. "That technique was easily an S rank. Maybe I should go to the leaf. I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that," Zabuza thought. "That power should be mine. With that I could easily defeat my brother." "Yes. That power will be mine," Sasuke thought as he watched in awe the massive lightning strike. "What the hell are these shinobi? They can't be human," Tazuna thought in awe and a bit of fear. "Awesome, my technique worked!" Naruto exclaimed happily, and everyone turned to him with theirs fixed on him. "Congrats, Kit," Kurama said. "It's over. Gato is more than dead," Kakashi said, looking at Naruto and laughed. "So Zabuza, have you thought about Naruto's proposal?" Kakashi asked, and Zabuza started pondering. He was tired of this life, and if went to the leaf perhaps he could witness that attack once again. That lightning dragon was beautiful. "I'll go with you. I'm tired of this life. Besides, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that," Zabuza said as he pointed to massive missing piece of bridge, and Naruto smirked. "By the way, Naruto, congrats, that is one powerful jutsu, easily S-ranked," Kakashi said, happy that he inherited his father's talents. "And the best thing is that its chakra consumption is practically non-existent since the dragon is powered by the natural electricity of the sky," Naruto replied, and Kakashi nodded. "Maybe you can teach it to me," Kakashi said. "You need a very high lightning affinity, as you need to manipulate the very essence of electricity and also manage to gather it up in the sky. But if you have, I would happily teach it to you, Nii-san," Naruto said. "Nii-san?" Zabuza asked. "We aren't really brothers, but we are close enough," Naruto said. "Dobe, I demand you teach me that jutsu," Sasuke said, walking up to Naruto. "No," Naruto simply said. "What do you mean, no? That power should belong to me and Uchiha Elite," Sasuke said. "The reason I won't teach it to you is because you have the wrong goals. Revenge and lust for power," Naruto said, and walked off, leaving Sasuke angry. "The council will heard about this," Sasuke thought. "Okay, everyone, let's head home. Tazuna, you can work peacefully now that Gato is dead. We will probably be a few more days since Naruto decided to blow up the bridge," Kakashi said, glaring at him. Naruto simply scratched the back of his head. A few days later, everyone was at Tazuna's place packing to leave. The bridge was complete, and the wave was starting to recover from Gato's tyranny. Haku became good friends with Naruto and Hinata since they shared a common background. They were both hated and chased away from what they contained, either it be a demon or bloodline. Haku recovered very well since Naruto summoned a healing fox to help her treatment. Zabuza gave Naruto a few pointers and tips on his sword style. Zabuza was surprised when he found out that Naruto was an Uzumaki, masters in the art of the sword. Kakashi was almost floored when he found out about Naruto. Flashback: everyone had arrived at Tazuna's house coming from their battle. They found it was a good idea to leave some backup in the house as two thugs attacked and tried to kidnap Tsunami and Inari. Kakashi called Naruto over and they both went outside of the house into the woods. "So, care to explain how you could see Zabuza and Haku in the mist?" Kakashi said. "I know I can trust Kakashi-sensei. My father never told you this." "Actually, I believe he never told anyone other than my mother," Naruto said, and activated his Sharingan. Kakashi's eyes widened when he saw a 3-tomo Sharingan fire up in Naruto's eyes. "How can you have the Sharingan? Either your mother or father were Uchihas," Kakashi said. "Actually, my father was an Uchiha, he just never told anyone." "Did you ever wonder how could he be so fast? It's true he used the Hiraishin, but a normal person without any bloodline wouldn't be able to react in time at those speeds," Naruto explained, and Kakashi asked why he never pondered that situation. "So how many people know that you are an Uchiha?" Kakashi asked. "So far the old man, Hinata, Shino, Kurenai-sensei and you. And I'm happy I never told anyone since I awakened it when I was 5, otherwise I would probably join the Uchiha clan in the grave," Naruto said, sending shivers to Kakashi. "Oh, another thing," Naruto started. "I kind of copied your Chidori. Since Raiton is my main affinity, do you mind if use it?" Naruto asked, rubbing the back of his head sheepishly. "I have no problem with that. Besides, the Chidori was created to be used in conjunction with the Sharingan, so it serves you well," Kakashi said. "I wonder why Sensei never told me?" Kakashi wondered out loud. "It's probably because of who was his father," Naruto said, and Kakashi raised an eyebrow. "My grandfather was Uchiha Madara," Naruto said, and Kakashi froze hearing that name. "How is it possible?" Kakashi asked. "Madara didn't die in his battle with Hashirama, and a few years later my father was born," Naruto said. "Geez, with blood like that and how he is known, Naruto will be extremely powerful later on," Kakashi thought. "You know the council will be on your ass when they find out, right?" Kakashi asked. "Don't worry. I already studied politics and laws. I knew someday I would need them," Naruto said, laughing. "This is the reason I asked the old man not to be on your team. I knew Sasuke would be with you so you could train his Sharingan when he awakened it, and I would someday have to use it, and I didn't want to always be covering it up with the Genjutsu," Naruto explained, and Kakashi nodded. "I'm just picturing the council faces when they find out," Kakashi said, laughing. "Let's go home and rest. You need to work on the bridge tomorrow since you blew it up," Kakashi said, and Naruto sighed. End flashback. Everyone from town was gathered up in the bridge saying their goodbyes to their heroes. The brave shinobi that killed Gato and freed the wave. "Don't cry, Inari, I'll come visit," Naruto said. Inari simply nodded. "Take care, old man," Naruto said to Tazuna. "Goodbye and don't forget to visit," Tazuna said, and everyone nodded and left towards the leaf. "What should we name the bridge?" one of the townspeople asked. "How about the super great Tazuna Bridge?" Tazuna said, and Tsunami bonked him in the head. "How about the Great Naruto Bridge, since he was the one that killed Gato and convinced Inari to fight for what he wants?" Tsunami replied, and everyone agreed. "The Great Naruto Bridge it is," Tazuna said, watching everyone leave. Hokage's office. One day later, everyone was in the Hokage's office giving their report of the mission. Since their group was only shinobi, they managed to get back to the leaf much faster, even having to stop a few times so Sakura could rest. Naruto has the same talent as his father, the Hokage thought, reading about his lightning attack, and turned to the missing nin in the room and starting massing his temples. "You'd give me nothing more than paperwork, Naruto-kun," the old man said. "How about this? You let Zabuza and Haku join the leaf and I tell you how to defeat paperwork," Naruto said, and in a flash the Hokage threw 2 headbands to Haku and Zabuza and started shaking Naruto's shoulder, begging him to tell. Everyone watching this sweat dropped. 2 words, Naruto said, and Hokage focused on him. "Kagebushin," he said. The Hokage walked calmly to his chair. He opened one drawer and took a paper that said, "Smash here." He put the paper on the table and started slamming his head, saying, "Stupid, stupid. I'll allow it. Zabuza, since you are a missing nin, you will have a 6-month probation period," the Hokage said, and he nodded. "Haku, since you don't have any village affiliation, you can join a genin team next graduation. How about it?" he asked. "Actually, Hokage-sama, I would like to become a combat medic. I have good knowledge of poison and medicinal plants," she said, and the Hokage pondered. "Very well, you can start in the hospital. I'll have someone teach you the basics, but you still need to be on a genin team and advance to at least chunin until you can dedicate full time," the Hokage explained, and she nodded. "Everyone dismissed," the Hokage said, "and create 3 shadow clones to do paperwork." "Naruto-kun, how about I take you to ramen?" the Hokage said, and Naruto started jumping in the air, shouting, "Ramen, ramen? This village is crazy," Zabuza said, and Haku nodded. Chapter 13, Mission to Land of the Waterfall. The next week after everyone returned from their wave mission went without much trouble. The Hokage gave them the week off so they could train and rest and do the occasional D-rank mission. During this week, Naruto and Hinata trained with Zabuza in their Kenjutsu and Hinata in Suiton Ninjutsu. Apart from training with Zabuza, they also did their normal training with Kurenai-sensei, but there wasn't much she could teach them. Also, Haku started in the hospital learning the basics of medical ninjutsu. She was really skilled in it. Naruto also trained Hinata since she started showing a lightning affinity. With this training, she started developing a new taijutsu style that was rather deadly. One small touch and everything was over. This new style could be considered an improvement over her flowing fist. Currently it was around 4 p.m., and both Naruto and Hinata were resting on the couch locked in a makeout session. Naruto was on top, planting kisses all around her neck, making her laugh. She decided to return the favor and flipped him, making her be on top. She kissed deeply in the lips for a few seconds and left him dazed. Suddenly there was a knock on the door and Naruto pouted that it ruined their alone time. "I swear I'm about to kill whoever knocked," Naruto muttered as he got up and went to the door. "Come on, Naruto, and be nice," Hinata said. "We can always continue after it," she said, winking at him. Naruto turned back to look at her with a devious smile that gave her chills. Naruto opened the door and saw an Anbu masked shinobi standing there. "Yes?" Naruto asked. "The Hokage demands your presence in the council room," the Anbu said, and grabbed his arm, getting ready to take him away. Naruto removed his arm from his grip. "We will be there momentarily," Naruto said in a cold tone, glaring at him with his cold blue eyes. The Anbu nodded. Naruto closed the door and turned back to Hinata, who was waiting for him. "Sorry, Haim, but the council wants me. Wanna come?" "It's fun," he said, smirking. "Sure, let me grab a coat," she replied. She got up, grabbed a coat, and both walked out of the house. When outside, they both shined to the Hokage's tower. Hokage Tower Council Room. Naruto and Hinata arrived at the Hokage Tower and made their way towards the council room. When they arrived, there was an Anbu stationed outside of the room guarding it. The Anbu opened the door and they both walked in. The civilian council immediately started glaring at him, and he simply discarded it. Hayashi was glaring daggers at Hinata, wondering what she was doing here. "What are you doing here, Hinata?" Hayashi asked. "Can I be here for my boyfriend?" She replied, kissing him in the cheek and getting a distasteful look from Hayashi and the civilians. "Disgusting, how can you associate with Ada?" Hayashi didn't finish as a kunai launched from Naruto lodged itself in the wall near his head, cutting a few hairs and making the man freeze. "Careful, Hayashi-sama, I wouldn't want you to break the Hokage-sama's law," Naruto said, smirking. The Hyugas were known for always remaining cool no matter how stressful the situation. Everyone's eyes widened. If he wanted, he could have killed him right here, and no one even saw him pulling out a kunai. "You dare attack me, I can kill your precious girlfriend here only lifting 2 fingers. Hayashi said in a calm tone. You could try, but you would hit the floor dead before your fingers were even in the tiger seal. Naruto calmly said. Is that a threat? Hayashi asked, narrowing his eyes. No, just a warning. If you do anything to harm her, well, in this case you would call it the Hyuga massacre, except I would only kill the main house since they are all arrogant. Naruto said, and everyone gasped, and Hayashi simply scowled. He would have his revenge, but not now, trying to defuse the situation before he embarrassed himself even more. How can you have weapons in here? The ANBU outside should have made sure no weapons were allowed in here, Hayashi said. The Hokage only watched the interaction with fascination. Here it was a 14-year-old boy pissing off the council. It amused as hell, so he just watched. See these little things? Naruto said and showed his wristbands. In these wristbands I have a few storage seals for kunai, shurikens, and senbons. It's a lot easier than wearing a pouch. Besides, it's not my fault the ANBU didn't check them. Naruto explained. Besides, I don't understand why you prevent weapons in here but you let in shinobi without restricting their chakra. Chakra is the shinobi's ultimate weapon. Without it we are nothing more than civilians. Naruto said, and everyone pondered. He has a point, you know? Shikako asked rhetorically, and few nodded. That's not what we called you here for, one of the civilians said. Before we start, may I ask what is Sasuke doing here? Naruto asked, and everyone stared at him, wondering how he managed to sense his chakra. Sasuke stepped out from the shadows smirking. How did you know I was there, dope? Sasuke asked. Everyone seems to keep forgetting that I'm a censor. Naruto said, sighing. Hey old man, so? Naruto didn't get to finish. Show respect to the Hokage brat, Hayashi said. Fine, Hokage-sama, I was wondering the reason you called me, Naruto said. That I would like to know as well. The Hokage replied, looking at the civilian council who was a bit nervous. We are here so that Naruto-san can teach Uchiha-sama that lightning jutsu you used in your last mission, one of the civilians said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. Sorry, not teaching it. It's an S-rank jutsu of my own creation, so it belongs to me and I alone can choose who to teach it to, Naruto said, and the civilian side erupted in protest. Naruto simply waited for them to calm down. You should be proud of teaching the Uchiha-sama. The pink banshee yelled. Her name was Sakiri, and she was Sakura's mother. I don't understand you. Couple weeks ago you bitched about me becoming a shinobi and one of you hired 2 jonins to assassinate me, and now you want me to teach him, Naruto said, and the shinobi side froze when they heard they tried to assassinate him. Could you clarify your assassination attempt, Naruto-san? Shibi said. Aburaim Shibi was Shino's father and the current head of the Aburaim clan. The night after the genin's graduation, one member of the civilian side named Tenno Kanta hired 2 jonin to kill us. They managed to break into my house during the night and tried to stab us. However, I sensed them and we killed one of them while restraining the other and delivered him to the Hokage, Naruto explained. We? Shibi asked. Hinata is living with me, Naruto explained, and Hayashi thought that her daughter couldn't sink any lower. After that, the one who hired them was executed for an attack attempt on a leaf shinobi, Naruto explained. Oh, and just to warn you, if you try again, I already protected my house with a few security seals, so if anyone tries to break into it they will have a nasty surprise, Naruto said, smirking evilly and giving the civilians shivers. We are getting off topic. We demand you teach the jutsu to Uchiha-sama, Sakiri said, getting to the point of the meeting. I already said that I won't. It's my creation, for example, Naruto said, and turned towards Hayashi. The Kaden technique doesn't require any type of bloodline, so anyone could learn it. Why not teach it to the general shinobi? Naruto asked. That technique is secret of the Hyuga clan, but I wonder how you know about it, Hayashi said, narrowing his eyes. Naruto said, and Hinata went to the middle of the room and started spinning with a low-powered Katen so she didn't destroy anything. How dare you use a technique of the main branch of the Hyugas? Hayashi yelled, getting up and finally losing his temper and raising his 2 fingers to activate Hinata's curse seal. Naruto, seeing this, dashed forward with blinding speeds and slammed both hands into Hayashi's chest, saying, Chakra seal, applying a chakra restricting seal with his left hand, and saying, Paralysis seal, applying a seal that stops all motion from Hayashi, freezing him in place with his right hand. Suddenly ANBU appeared in the room with swords drawn and pointed to Naruto's neck. Everyone's eyes were bulging out at the events that transpired just a few seconds ago. The Hokage was simply enjoying his life. Naruto's speed was phenomenal, as his work with seals, only a skilled seal master could apply seals with his hands. Naruto activated his Kamui with his Sharingan hidden and simply walked through the Umbu and their sword towards Hinata. Umbu just watched him literally walk through them like he was a ghost. "I told you council meetings are fun," Naruto said, and Hinata giggled while everyone was staring at the pair. "Naruto-kun, remove the seals from Hayashi," the Hokage said, and Naruto complied and removed his seals from him. "And Hayashi, refrain yourself from disturbing actions," the Hokage concluded. Hayashi continued glaring at the pair, releasing a little bit of ki that didn't even affect them. "Now I won't teach it to Sasuke for 3 reasons," Naruto started. "First, he doesn't deserve it, he's an arrogant kid who thinks everyone should kneel before him. Second, you need a very high lightning affinity to be able to use it. Your affinity must be on the same level as Nidame's water affinity, but in this case for lightning. Third, I'm a shinobi, so you have no authority over me," Naruto concluded. Sasuke, seeing this, seethed his teeth as Naruto was explaining. "You don't deserve that power, and everyone should kneel before the Uchihas," Sasuke said and rushed Naruto with a kunai. Naruto sidestepped him and placed him in a chokehold. After a few seconds he dropped him into the floor unconscious. "You killed him, and you killed the demon," Sakura yelled, and then Naruto simply sighed. "He's just unconscious. As much I hate him, I wouldn't kill him just because of his temper," Naruto explained. "And your worship for the Uchiha will be your downfall one day. Care to explain how he managed to pull a kunai from his pouch?" Naruto asked. Nobody answered. The Shinobi Council didn't like the Uchiha. He was an arrogant fool, but the civilians pampered his every demand. "Naruto-san, we agree that jutsu is yours and only you should choose who to teach to," Chibi said. "Thank you, Aburame-san," Naruto said, glad this was over. However, he hoped he could still have a bit of fun with anyone else. "However, could you explain the requirements and disadvantages of the jutsu for classification?" Chibi said. "That jutsu could very well be a kinjutsu." "Not a problem. For starters, to use this attack you need high lightning affinity because you need to able to draw the energy from the Earth's electromagnetic field. Once you manage to gather enough of it in the same place, clouds will form and create thunders. Once this is done, I can manipulate the thunder and redirect it to the enemy. Due to using nature's energy instead of chakra, the attack is extremely more powerful. The only drawback is that after using it you can only use it in the same place after a few minutes so that the energy from the field can stabilize," Naruto explained, and everyone thought about the possibilities of that jutsu. It could easily topple a building or destroy a small army. "You are skilled, Naruto-san. My son was right about you," Shibi said, and Naruto nodded. "Can we leave now?" Naruto asked, and seeing the Hokage nodding started walking out of the room until they heard one of the civilians whispering, "Demon," but everyone heard it. "For Kami's sake, how the hell can I prove that I'm not the Kyuubi?" Naruto asked, but everyone remained silent. Naruto decided to scare the crap out of them and said, "Oh, I know a way," and everyone perked up. "Hey Kyuubi, wake up," Naruto said to Kurama, but out loud so everyone could hear him. Everyone wondered what he was doing, but the civilians were all sweating bullets. "What do you want, Kit?" Kurama asked. "How about we play with them for a bit, just don't kill anyone," Naruto thought, and Kurama smirked. "Kage Bunshin no Jutsu," Naruto said and made a single clone. In the clone, Kurama took control. His eyes became blood red with vertical slits, his whisker marks became more pronounced, and his teeth became fangs. "Well, hello," the Kyuubi said in a very dark voice, scaring the crap of everyone in the civilian side. The Hokage already knew about him helping Naruto, but the shinobi side was a bit weary. "KK Kyuubi?" Sakura asked. "Lord Kyuubi, you pathetic mortal," the Kyuubi said, and Sakura shrunk into her chair just staring at new transformed Naruto. "You hungry?" Naruto asked. "I could eat," Kyuubi replied. "You can start with the pink banshee," Naruto said, and Sakura started shaking and fainted. Naruto, seeing this, sweat dropped. "She fainted, pick another," he said. "Oh, just forget it, I'll eat them all," Kyuubi said, and using a discreet henge transformed into a medium-sized fox with 9 tails and orange fur. He calmly walked towards the civilian side. The rest simply watched as one by one everyone in the civilian side fainted and remained there in the ground drooling. "That was fun," the Kyuubi said, making Naruto and Hinata laugh while everyone just sweat dropped. "We are leaving, see you tomorrow, Gigi," Naruto said and walked out of the room. "I like his style," Some said. She was the head of the Inuzuka clan and Kiba's mother. "Sniff, sniff, what's that smell?" she asked. "I think I know," Sigh, who the hell is carrying them home? The Hokage asked, and in a flash the whole shinobi side vanished. Did Minato teach them the Hairishin? The Hokage wondered in thought. With our favorite couple. I told you council meetings are fun, Naruto said, chuckling. How are you feeling? You didn't see your father since he expelled you, Naruto said. I'm fine. He no longer means anything to me, he was never really a father. I think I never got to love him, she sadly said. Besides, I have you now, and that is all I need, she said, kissing him in the cheek and wrapping herself around his arm, resting her head on his shoulder. Shall we continue what we were doing? Naruto asked, remembering what they were doing before they left. Are you sure? Hinata whispered in a teasing voice. Naruto picked her up bridal style and shined home. Few days later, Team 8 was en route to the Hokage Tower to get a new mission. Their week off was over and now they were ready for real missions. No more of those dreary D-ranks missions. During the remaining of the week, Naruto learned a few lightning jutsus from Kakashi. Flashback: Naruto was walking towards Team 7 training grounds since he set a training session with Kakashi. Naruto waited a few minutes, but then he remembered Kakashi's nasty habit of arriving late to any appointment. Naruto extended his senses and found Kakashi a few hundred meters away. He walked towards him and found him staring at the memorial stone. Naruto approached him, but Kakashi didn't even notice him since he was deep in thought. So, Naruto said, startling Kakashi, "This is where you spend your time." Naruto continued in a low tone, seeing the names of his parents in the stone. The memorial stone is a monument in Konoha where are written all the names of shinobi killed in action, a reminder of their sacrifice to protect their home. Neither of them said anything during a few minutes until Naruto spoke. "You shouldn't dwell in the past, I know, but I can't forget my past actions. If I wasn't so arrogant back then, he would still be alive," Kakashi said. "I'm the last of my genin team. My best friend, Obito, died to save me. Rin sacrificed herself, forcing me to kill her, and Sensei died defeating the Kyuubi. In his dying moments I promised Obito I would take care of Rin, and I failed," Kakashi said, almost breaking. "You can't protect everyone, even I know that. The only thing we can do is try our hardest. Like you, I would do anything to protect those who I care about, but we can't be there for everyone," Naruto said. "I just feel it's my fault," Kakashi said. "You tried your best, no one could ask for more. It's time to let go," Naruto said, placing his hand on his shoulder and slowly turning away to leave. It would be best to leave him be after their talk. Maybe he's right, I'd dwelled in the past long enough, Kakashi thought, looking one final time at the stone. "I promise, Sensei, I'll do my best to protect and guide your son," he thought, smiling, and turned away from it, going towards Naruto. "Wait, Naruto, I believed we had a training session," Kakashi yelled, making Naruto stop and turn towards him. Maybe my talk did some good, Naruto thought. "Let's get this started. I'll be teaching you a few lightning jutsus, I've got plenty," Kakashi said, lifting his headband and showing his Sharingan. "Kakashi-sensei, I wonder why can't you disable your Sharingan?" Naruto said. "It's because I'm not an Uchiha, and I can't cancel the chakra flowing into the eye," Kakashi replied. "Maybe your eye is forcibly consuming chakra to remain activated." Naruto pondered for a few seconds and said, "Maybe I can apply a seal in your eye that allows you to cut the chakra feed completely, allowing you to see normally but still be able to reactivate the Sharingan." "Really?" Kakashi asked incredulously. "If he could, it would be good. He hasn't seen anything with his left eye in years outside of battles. Besides, it would remove his blind spot when not using the Sharingan. I'm pretty good with seals, I'll see what I can do." "Let's get started," Naruto said, and activated his Sharingan. "First I'll show this right unlightning chain," Kakashi said, making a Kagebushin. Kakashi slammed his right hand with the clone's left hand, and when they were separating, it created a thin line of right end chakra. Both Kakashi and his clone ran towards a tree, slicing it cleanly. "Wow, that's an A-rank jutsu," Naruto said, giddy, and Kakashi smiled. His sensei was always up to learn new jutsu. "The next is the final version of my Chidori. It's called Raikiri, Lightning Cutter. Instead of gathering lightning chakra in the palm of your hand, you envelop your hand in it. By doing so, you increase the piercing power of your hand, making it possible to pierce or slice anything. This is why it's called Raikiri, because I used it to cut through lightning. This technique requires more chakra control over your element, and it's an S-rank technique," Kakashi explained. A/N, Raikiri, it's like Sandame Raikage attack, and flashback, mission assignment room. They arrived at the mission room and saw the traditional setup. The Hokage in the center of the table with Irika to his left. Also in the room, near the edge of the table, was a girl. She was around Naruto's age. She wore a clip in her green hair in a color that matched her orange eyes. Her ninja outfit consisted of a short, sleeveless white shirt with fishnet armor underneath, long white armlets, and fishnet shorts with a short white apron skirt over it. Her forehead protector was worn on her right arm. Naruto stared at her, getting a weird vibe from her. The Hokage simply watched Naruto analyzing the young girl. "Naruto, it's rude to stare." Kurenai scowled at the blonde. Shino remained stoic like always. "Kit, I'm getting a reading on demon chakra from her. She's the Jinchuriki of the Nanabai," Kurama said, and Naruto nodded. "Nice to meet you, 7, I'm Uzumaki Naruto," Naruto said, and everyone wondered what he meant by calling her 7. "Nice to meet you too, 9, I'm Fu," she replied, and both Team 8 and Irika stared at the young girl when she called Naruto 9. Seeing that Naruto called her 7, that could only mean she was also a Jinchuriki. Who would figure? "So, old man, I guess the mission involves Fu?" Naruto asked, and the Hokage chuckled. "The mission I have for you is a B rank because of its importance rather than danger," the Hokage started. "The mission is to go to Hidden Village in the waterfall and negotiate trading agreements. Fu here will accompany you to the village since it's hard to find," the Hokage concluded. The Hokage picked up the scroll and threw it at Kurenai and said, "And there are the mission details." Naruto narrowed his eyes and asked, "You set this up, didn't you? I thought you would like to meet another Jinchuriki like you," the old man replied. "I appreciate it," Naruto said, and turned to Fu. "So let's head out, I want to see your village," Naruto said. "Before we part ways, prepare for a 1-week mission. Gather at the West Gate in 1 hour," Kurenai said, and everyone left the room. West Gate 1 hour later. About 1 hour later, everyone stood ready at the gate. After they signed their release forms, they left the village, traveling at shinobi pace towards Fu's village. Their travel was uneventful. They were attacked by a few low-level thugs, nothing they couldn't handle. "So Fu, what's like your village?" Naruto asked, and Fu got a bit hesitant. "The only thing I can say is that it's beautiful," Fu replied. "The thing I love most is that it has the most beautiful sunsets," she explained, and Naruto nodded. "Another thing is that my village's atmosphere tends to a bit moist from the waterfalls, so it's perfect for finding new bugs," she concluded. "Bugs?" Shino asked, raising an eyebrow. "Oh, that's right, you're from the Aburame clan that specializes in bugs, right?" she asked, and Shino nodded. "One side effect of me being the Jinchuriki of the Nanabai is that I can communicate with bugs and use them as a weapon," she explained. "By the way, how is the Nanabai?" Naruto asked. "If you want, we can open a channel," Fu asked, and Naruto nodded. Kurama opened the channel, and they were dragged to what appeared to be a very dark room, and in the center there was light. Few seconds later, 2 figures appeared the room. The first one appeared to be a giant bug with horns and wings, and on top of his head was Fu. The other was a big fox, the 9 tails and orange fur, and on top of his head was Naruto. "Chome, long time no see," Kurama said. "It's been a while, Kurama," Chome replied. "You know, I never thought of seeing you friendly with your container," Chome said, smirking. "Laugh if you want. But it gets boring being sealed for 100 years, and I need something to entertain myself. Besides, the kit is not half bad," Kurama replied. "You damn right I'm not bad," Naruto replied, and the Kyuubi used of his tails and knocked him down from his head and sent crashing to the ground. "You are still a brat," Kurama said, and Fu laughed. Naruto simply stuck his tongue out to Kurama. "Damn furball," he muttered. "It was good seeing good. Until next time," Kurama said, and both of them exited their mindscapes. "What happened, Naruto? Both of you spaced out?" Kurenai asked. "We were just talking amongst ourselves with the Kyuubi and Nanabai. They haven't seen each other in a few years," Naruto said, and seeing the confused look of Kurenai, Fu decided to elaborate. "Jinchurikis can create a mental link with other Jinchurikis and talk through our mind," Fu explained, and everyone nodded. Few hours later, near the waterfall village, Team 8 and Fu were arriving at the village entrance when Naruto's instinct kicked in, making him slightly jump out of surprise. "What's wrong, Naruto-kun?" Hinata asked, concerned. There wasn't much talk after what Naruto said. "Naruto-kun, is it? Is she your girlfriend?" Fu teased, wanting the juicy details. "She is, but I sense 3 chakra signatures coming towards at high speed, all Jonin level," Naruto said, and everyone got in position. "Fu, what's your rank?" Naruto asked. I'm Genin level alone, but if I use Nanabai's chakra I'm around Chunin level, but I can't control it past 2 tails. She explained, and Naruto nodded. They may not be enemies, however let's take precaution, Naruto said, and Kurenai took charge. Since they are 3 Jonin we will need to split up. Naruto, can you take one by yourself? Kurenai asked, and Naruto nodded. I have a few tricks up my sleeve, and if need be I can use the Kyuubi's chakra, Naruto replied. Then Naruto, you take one, Hinata and Shino the other, and me and Fu will take the last, Kurenai ordered. Moments later 3 figures rushed out of the woods and jumped in front of Team 8 and Fu. The middle figure that seemed to be the leader wore a full-body sleeveless suit that was mostly black with the sides being light purple. He had green hair and purple eyes. The other 2 wore the same outfit that consisted of full-body black suit and on top a light purple mid-sleeved shirt with black belt in their waist. The faces were completely covered by a black mask revealing only the eyes. However, what all 3 of them had in common was the high tie that had the design of a musical note. Who are you? And what do you want? Kurenai asked, keeping her guard up. My name is Rokusha Aoi, and we are here to take her, he said, pointing to Fu. As he said that, everyone took a defensive formation around her. A/N. In this fanfic, Aoi joined Oto instead of Aim. Rokusha Aoi, you are a new Knin from the Leaf Village, Kurenai said. What do you want from me? And I don't recognize your Hitayat symbol, Fu asked. We are from the Hidden Sound Village, and we want you because you are the guardian of the Ayu no Mizu, Hero Water, Aoi said, getting ready to take by force if need be. Hero Water? Naruto asked. Fu was a bit reluctant but decided to tell them since they would most likely help her. Hero Water is a special water that only exists in our village, and it's considered a forbidden drink. The water gives the user, when consumed, an enormous boost in chakra. The water multiplies by 10-fold the user's chakra output, however it shortens their lifespan. Our ancestor used it to defend our village when needed. And the reason they want me is because I'm the guardian of the fountain, Fu explained, and Team 8 eyes widened. Multiplying chakra output by 10-fold is some power. But no power comes without cost. Well, you aren't getting Fu, Naruto said, and took a step forward. A brave little genin, are you? Smirked Aoi and withdrew his sword. Naruto's eye widened when he saw the sword. That's the Raijin no Ken, Sword of the Thunder God, Naruto said, and Kurenai wondered how could the Nidame's sword end up in Oto possession. Enough of this, if you don't surrender the girl we will take her by force, Aoi said. We are not letting her go, so that means we fight. Kurenai-sensei, I will take Aoi because of the sword, my affinity should do well against him, Naruto said. He channeled chakra to his storage seal, and in a poof of smoke stood in his right his Chikuto. He channeled right-on chakra through it, and it began to sparkle with a light blue aura around it. Naruto versus Aoi. The group split apart until it remained only Aoi and Naruto. They both eyed each other before anyone made any move. You have a lot of nerve to face me in battle. With this sword I'm invincible, Aoi said, smirking. Naruto shook his head and said, You are too overconfident. No shinobi is invincible. There will always be some weakness or mistake we will make. Aoi dashed forward, intending to kill the annoying blonde. He brought his sword down with vertical slash, trying to kill him in one swift motion. However, Naruto blocked the Raijin with his own sword and both fought for dominance, leading to a standstill. How can that be? How can you block this sword like that? Aoi asked, getting annoyed. His sword was supposed to be the most powerful sword in existence. Like I said, no one is undefeatable, and that sword isn't all powerful. My sword is made of chakra metal, and I have a very high affinity towards lightning, making my sword almost on par with yours, Naruto explained, smirking and pissing Aoi off. Saban shower, Aoi said, and picked his umbrella and threw it at the air. The umbrella started spinning and launched massive amounts of senbons towards Naruto. Naruto saw no way to dodge them all and went through a few hand seals. Doton Doria Hiki, earth wall, Naruto said, and an earth rose from the ground blocking the senbon. You are not bad for a genin, Aoi said. Genin only in name, Naruto said, smiling and going through more hand seals. Katon, Gakaki no Jutsu, great fireball technique, Naruto said, and sent a fireball towards Aoi. He simply brought his sword up, and in a downward slash he cut through the fireball, making it disappear. Aoi dashed towards Naruto, but this time he channeled chakra to the sword and tried to shock Naruto. The sword sent a shockwave towards Naruto, who stood his ground, not moving an inch. Aoi laughed thinking he got Naruto but quickly quieted down when he saw Naruto getting shocked but standing there as if nothing was happening. How can stand there? Aoi asked. I told I have a very high lightning affinity. By coating my external body with chakra, any lightning attack I received is ineffective. Basically anything shorter than S-rank jutsu or other extremely well concentrated I'm immune to lightning attacks. That's the reason why I decided to fight you. Naruto explained and Aoi seethed his teeth. It doesn't matter, I'm going to kill you anyway. Aoi said and once again tried to slash Naruto but he blocked again and jumped back. Let's see what you can do without your precious sword. Naruto said and activated his EMS. It would be the first time using the long range of this. Kamui, Naruto said and focused on the sword. Moments later appeared what seemed to be a small rift, sucking the sword into it and closing. Aoi only watched as the sword got literally sucked out of his hands. Bastard, where did you send the sword to? Aoi asked, getting seriously pissed by him. I took the sword and intend to take it back to Konoha to where it belongs. Naruto explained. It's time to end this. I need to go see how the rest of my team is doing. Naruto dashed forward and as he expected, Aoi couldn't do much without his sword. Aoi followed the path that most Kekkei Genkai users do. They focus merely on that and think that they are invincible. Naruto brought his sword to a vertical slash, making Aoi block with a kunai and jump to the right. Kage Shuriken no Jutsu, Shuriken Shadow Clone. Naruto said and sent 5 shurikens that multiplied to 100. Aoi brought his umbrella up and blocked them all. Aoi ran towards him and before Naruto could realize he was stabbed in the back with a kunai. Aoi smirked until Naruto dispelled in a blue light, sending a rush of right-on chakra through Aoi, shocking him. Aoi was left lightly twitching as he looked for Naruto. Aoi barely dodged Naruto's hand as it rose from the ground and tried to catch him. Suiton Teppadama, water bullet. Aoi and sent a few bullets towards Naruto, who got hit with 3 of them, 2 in the chest and 1 in the leg, leaving him in the ground clutching in pain. Aoi approached Naruto, getting ready to finish him with a kunai. He brought it down and slashed his neck. Aoi smirked until Naruto puffed away in smoke and suddenly he froze, unable to move. He only saw Naruto appearing behind his back and slamming his hand in his back. How? Aoi barely managed to ask. You let your guard down. When you hit me with the water bullets you thought you had me, however when you sent them I switched with a clone and hid underground. When you approached to kill my clone I popped up and placed a paralysis seal on you. Naruto said and Aoi just cursed his luck by being defeated by a mere 14-year-old. Now that you can't move you will answer a few questions before I take back to the leaf. Naruto said and walked in towards Aoi before standing a few inches before him. What do you want the water for? Naruto asked in an emotionless tone, gazing Aoi with his cold blue eyes that seemed to reflect Aoi's soul upon them. Like I would tell you anything. Aoi sneered and Naruto simply smirked. Let's have some fun then, Naruto said, licking his lips in a typical Anko fashion, giving him shivers. Damn Kit, when did you learn that? Kurama asked, surprised by the sudden change in attitude. When you have Kagebushin coupled with the Sharingan that grants you photographic memory, you are bound to learn quite a few things. And have you forgot I've read almost the entire library in Konoha? Naruto explained and cut the feed, deciding to focus on Aoi first. Naruto activated his Sharingan, but only gave him shivers. Aoi wouldn't budge. Let's try this Magen Jigakuguka no Jutsu, Hellfire technique, Naruto said, trapping Aoi in an illusion that gave the idea of being burned alive. This went on for a few minutes and yet Aoi wouldn't crack. That alone isn't going to cut it, Aoi said weakly. Even thought he didn't succumb to the illusion, he was weakened by it. I wonder why you won't talk. I mean, you are going to Konoha anyway, so why not make it easier for you? Naruto said, trying to rationalize with him. It isn't Konoha, I'm afraid, Aoi replied, and Naruto rose an eyebrow. Hey Kurama, I can't use Tsukuyumi yet, can you lend me a hand? Naruto asked. Of course, I'm always up for some fun, Kurama said, smirking. Naruto deactivated his Sharingan and channeled Kyuubi's chakra to his eyes, turning them into blood red with black vertical slits. Naruto gazed into Aoi and suddenly he was dragged into Naruto's mind. Aoi wondered where he was until he was faced with steel cage doors that seemed to be meant to keep something locked up. However, that thought sent shivers as the doors were fully unlocked. Aoi gazed inside only to see 2 blood-red eyes glowing in the dark. The eyes were increasing in size as a figure could be seen approaching. A few seconds later the figure revealed itself to Aoi, making him freeze in place. In front of him was an orange fox with 9 tails swirling. In front of him was the Kyuubi no Yoko, the most powerful bijou of all. Oh, a snack. You are too good to me, kid, Kurama said, walking slowly towards Aoi, who remained in place but apparently lost control of his bladder. I told you I wasn't a bad guy, Naruto replied, simply watching Aoi wet himself, literally. Kurama approached Aoi, licking his teeth, getting ready to devour him. Okay, I'll tell why you have everything I can know. Aoi stuttered, not really managing to control his body at the moment. That wasn't so hard now, was it? Naruto asked rhetorically. Why do you want the water? Naruto asked. It was a mission. Our village leader makes acquiring the water a priority mission. But I don't know what he wants it for, Aoi quickly answered. I see, and who is your village leader? Naruto asked. Orochimaru, the snake Sannin, Aoi replied, and Naruto rose an eyebrow. Orochimaru founded his own village? Interesting, I'll tell the old man when I get back, Naruto thought. Anything else I should know? Naruto asked, and Aoi quickly shook his head, saying no. Naruto released the illusion and went behind him, giving a chop to the neck, knocking him out. Naruto released the paralysis and applied instead a chakra seal. He tied him up with ninja wire and sealed him in a stasis scroll to keep him alive. Thanks, Kurama, Naruto said. With the others, Naruto made their way to the others' battle just in time to see them end. Naruto, are you good? Kurenai asked. Yes. I have his sword and he's sealed in a stasis scroll. I will take him back to questioning, but I did manage to find out that his village is run by Orochimaru, Naruto explained. Orochimaru? Kurenai asked. Yes, we will inform Gigi when we arrive at the village, Naruto said. How is everyone? He asked. We are good, Shino and Fo are a little out of breath, a few bruises and scratches but nothing too major, Hinata replied. Let's go to village to rest and report the details, Kurenai said. Village Gate's teammate lead by Fo was approaching the gates of the waterfall village. They arrived near the gate and were stopped by two guards. The guards turned to the approaching people and spotted a Konoha team with Fo. So, you are back already? One of the guards asked to Fo, clearly despising her. She frowned but nodded. Teammate caught this and weren't happy, primarily Naruto. My name is Yuhi Kurenai. I'm here with my team, Abirame Shino, Hyuga Hinata and Uzumaki Naruto for negotiations, Kurenai said, handing them the scroll with the Hokage's stamp. Welcome to the waterfall village, the same guard said, and allowed them passage. They were walking towards the village's center where the village leader lived. Teammates seemed to notice that Fo was getting the same hateful glares and the casual insults as Naruto did in Konoha. It seems that you two aren't liked here, Naruto stated sadly. It's the fate of all Jinchuriki. We are all treated badly, but even then there are some people that see us for us and not the beast, Fo explained. I don't understand why people can't see the difference between a scroll and a kunai. You are humans just like the rest of us, Hinata said. Naruto chuckled, but this laugh was filled with irony and got confused looks from everyone. Jinchuriki, the power of human sacrifice. Naruto started getting the attention of everyone. I've thought a lot about this, and the more I think the more I realize that we aren't humans, Naruto said, getting gasp from everyone. Even the Kyuubi and the Nanabai were listening. Naruto got into thinking pose before continuing. The moment the bijou are sealed into a human being, either it is a newborn or adult, we are bound with him until the end of our lives, since if you remove the bijou from the host he dies, Naruto said, and got gasps from everyone. It is a strange thing, the bijou and their host. We do not need them, and yet we cannot live without them. The moment they are trapped in us, they become part of us, Naruto said, and everyone stopped walking and just stood there listening to the blonde. If we combine forces, we are unstoppable, and yet a piece of paper with ink can cripple us, making us strong yet fragile. Once we are bonded, each of the hosts gains special abilities that neither someone with Kekkei Genkai can achieve. Our chakra starts changing to adapt the bijou demon chakra, making it stronger than other humans. So you see, I'm not the beast, but I'm not the same human I was born, Naruto concluded, and no one said anything. Everyone just started walking and thinking about what the blonde had said. Is it true? Fo thought. The kid is right, you know. The moment we bond, you become something else, because you aren't me, but you become different from the others. But even I don't know what, Chomi said. Kit, and I thought you were a brat, Kurama said, chuckling. To think you could come up with something like this, Kurama said, but Naruto only nodded and didn't say anything. Everyone just continued their path thinking about what the blonde said. Waterfall Tower. They arrived at the center of the village, and stopped in front of what was supposed to be the waterfall tower. They could see stairs going around the tree, and the tree itself was the building. They made their way up the tower and stopped facing two red doors that, according to Fu, lead to Shibuki's office, the village leader. They knocked and heard someone say, "Enter." Team 8 and Fu quickly complied and opened the doors and found themselves in a small, modest-looking office. There was a shelf with books, a small couch, a few pictures, and in the back was a desk with Shibuki behind working. Shibuki has black eyes and has long, dark brown hair. He also wears a forehead protector symbolizing his shinobi status. He had gray pants, a green shirt, and ninja sandals. "Oh, Fu-chan, welcome back," Shibuki said, smiling. Apparently he was one of the people Fu said that treated her well. "Hi, mission accomplished, Shibuki-sama," Fu replied and stepped out of the way so Team 8 could present themselves. "Thank you for having us, Shibuki-sama." Kurenai started bowing. "My name is Yuhi Kurenai and this is my team Aburame Shino, Hyuga Hinata and Uzumaki Naruto," she concluded, and everyone bowed in respect. "Not at all, I trust the travel went well?" Shibuki asked and caught the slightly hesitation in Konoha's team. "What happened?" he asked. "We were attacked by Konoha Nukenin Rokushu Aoi with two other jonins. Apparently they were from a new hidden village that was founded recently in the rice country. They were after me and their objective was stealing the hero water. Fortunately we managed to win. Aoi was captured, both jonin were killed," Fu explained, and Shibuki brought his hand to his chin and stood there processing the information. "Did you find out why they wanted it?" Shibuki asked. "I interrogated their leader Aoi and apparently their village is called the Hidden Sound Village and their leader is Konoha's Nukenin Orochimaru the Snake Sannin." Naruto stepped forward and explained. "This is troubling news," Shibuki started. "The water is very dangerous, even more in the hands of Orochimaru. I'll increase security in the borders and in the fountain to make sure," he finished. "We will take Aoi for interrogation back in Konoha and we will send you the information we find," Kurenai said. "Thank you, I appreciate it," Shibuki replied. "Now, Kurenai-san, shall we discuss the trading agreements?" he asked, and Kurenai nodded. "Fu, accompany them to the hotel until we finish our talks," Shibuki said. Everyone bowed and left the room. Around the village. "You were right, this village is amazing," Naruto said as they were walking towards the hotel. The village had a very naturalistic tone to it. There were trees, grass, and other plants everywhere. Even the terrain was earth itself. "Yes, and it seems to have many different bug species around," Shino said, observing the village, trying to find out the different bugs around. "Is that all you think about? Bugs?" Naruto asked, getting a bit creeped out. "You do realize that bugs are my weapons," Shino said in his usual stoic voice. "You know Naruto?" Fu began. "Since you never used bugs, you don't realize how helpful they are. They are excellent for spying. They can steal chakra from the enemies, poison them, or remove poison in you, and many other things," Fu explained. "I guess it's true, however for information gathering I have my Kage Bushin and for poison the Kyuubi takes care of that," Naruto said, and noticed that Shino was talking to Fu about bugs. "I guess those two won't shut up about bugs too soon. It's getting late and it's nice weather, how about we go see this amazing sunset?" Naruto asked. "Who would have thought you were so romantic?" Hinata asked rhetorically, kissing him and dragging him along. "Watch, V equals I-8 VPKQBSG. Start," and that they did. They managed to find a tall tree. They climbed it and sat on the very top overlooking the darkening sky and light of the village. "She's right, it's beautiful," Hinata said as she looked at the sky. The sun was going down, just dimly sending light to the earth. The few clouds that existed seemed that they were on fire. Hinata was smuggled into Naruto's chest, leaning her head on his shoulder. His arms were wrapped around her in a protective manner. "You know, these are the moments I treasure most," Naruto said, embracing Hinata tighter into him, as if he let go she would slip away. "When you are with me," he said, caressing her silky hair. "I wouldn't trade it for anything. I've never been happier than I am right now with you," she said. "Having you here with me makes me forget everything else. I don't even care that my father left me. They couldn't be called family. If it meant being with you, I would have left well before," she said, turning around facing him and staring at his deep blue eyes and his hair that seemed to dimly glow. "I don't care about the rest of the world. You were the first person that ever showed me real love," Naruto said. "And I will treasure you and protect you forever," he said, making her smile. Her dark blue hair flowed in the wind and seemed to shine as the moon made its way up to the sky. I love you, Naruto, she said. I love you too, Hinata. Naruto replied and leaned forward, wrapping his arms around her and pulling her closer. Their lips met with a deep, passionate kiss. It wasn't long, but it didn't matter. It was sufficient for either of them to understand the deep love they had for each other. They slowly separated and continued to watch the nightly sky until they both fell asleep in each other's arms. Music and the next day had come, and apparently negotiations had gone well and Team 8 was getting prepared to leave. They regrouped with Fu at the gate to say their goodbyes. Even thought their stay was rather short. A simple night, it was sufficient for them to slightly bond. After all, Naruto, being a Jinchuriki, quickly became on friendly terms with Fu as Shino. Don't become strangers, try to visit, Fu said. Of course, we will do our best, Hinata said. Hey Fu, I have a gift for you. Naruto started and everyone rose an eyebrow. Here, Naruto said and handed her a tri-pronged kunai. This is a very special kunai. If you need help or just want to talk, throw it at the ground and I'll be there in a flash, Naruto explained, smiling. Fu gladly accepted the gift, as there weren't many people that were good to her. Thank you, Fu said and watched them leave and fade away with the distance. With Team 8, a few hours had gone by and Kurenai couldn't contain their curiosity anymore. Naruto, I have a question, Kurenai said. Shoot, Naruto answered. He already suspected where this was going. That kunai you gave Fu. That wasn't a normal kunai, Kurenai said, practically asking for an explanation. That kunai contains the Shiki formula for the Hiraishin no Jutsu, Naruto explained, not revealing too much information just to see the reaction of his sensei. The Hiraishin no Jutsu, but that was the Yanyandame's technique, Kurenai stuttered, stopping and staring at Naruto. Looks like you figure it out, Naruto said. I can use it because it's my legacy. Minato Namikaze was my father, Naruto explained, and even Shino was surprised, finally forgetting his stoic face with one of shock. How is that possible? Kurenai asked. What do you mean? Naruto started. Didn't your mother give you the talk? Naruto asked, making Hinata and Kurenai blush. Idiot, Kurenai replied, smacking his head. The old man named me Uzumaki after my mother because my father had many enemies, primarily IWA. I think I'm strong enough to protect myself and everyone I care about, so maybe I'll ask the old man to announce it when I become Chunin, Naruto explained. To think I never realized it, blonde hair and blue eyes. Only the Yondaime had that particular combination, she replied. Don't worry. Even Kakashi-sensei didn't realize, and he was his student, Naruto said. You told Kakashi? Kurenai wondered. Yes, I've been training with him sometimes in the past weeks, Naruto answered. I should have known when you used the Rasengan on Zabuza, she said to herself. The Hiraishin no Jutsu was his most powerful technique, she said. My father truly was a genius in every sense of the word, Naruto said, remembering his brief talk when he met his father. But I can't use it on his level yet. I can't seem to handle extreme speeds yet. Every time I try multiple jumps I end up crashing into something, Naruto said, and Hinata started laughing as she remembered Naruto crashing into the walls and trees when he tried it. Still, you can use it, Kurenai said. She was starting to piece everything together and was starting to realize that Naruto and Hinata were prodigies. The skill they possessed at such young age, to master high-level jutsu, and even create their own. My team is going to rock the Chunin exams, she thought. And I'm betting on them, she thought, laughing to herself. Hokage's office. And that's what happened, Kurenai said. Geez, what's up with the missions? First a C rank goes A rank and now a simple B rank almost goes S rank, the Hokage said, smoking on his pipe. Old man here, Naruto said, and threw him 2 scrolls. One of the scrolls has Aoi in stasis for more deep interrogation, and the other has the sword he stole, the Raijin no Ken, Naruto said, and Hiruzen's eyes widened. The Raijin no Ken was stolen many years ago by Aoi. He didn't think he would still have it. Hiruzen unsealed the sword scroll. He channeled chakra through it, and the sword flared to life with yellow sparks. The Hokage stopped the chakra and thought for a moment before throwing it to Naruto again. Naruto caught the sword but looked at the Hokage in confusion. The old man sighed and placed a sound barrier. This would be a long talk. What I'm about to tell you is a secret that only I know, the old man said. I trust you will keep quiet? The Hokage asked, primarily Kurenai and Shino, who nodded. The Hokage pondered where to start. The sword belongs to you, Naruto, the Hokage said. What do you mean, it belongs to me? Naruto asked, still in confusion. You have Uchiha blood, however you are the heir to the Senju clan, the Hokage said, and everyone froze. You could hear a pin drop in the floor. Everyone in Team 8 was looking at Naruto, who was still processing what the old man had told him. What? Naruto asked in a low voice. You know your mother was Uzumaki Kushina and she came from the Whirlpool country, right? The Hokage asked, and Naruto nodded. I'll start in the beginning. Hashirama Senju and his wife, Uzumaki Mito, had 2 childs, 1 boy and 1 girl. The girl was named Senju Tsunade, the well-known slug Sannin. Tsunade later in life had a child named Senju Kushina. However, due to the war, the Senju clan was decimated, leaving only Tsunade and Kushina to reform the clan. Due to them being women and not wanting to be a breeding stock, they faked Kushina's death, resulting in the birth of Uzumaki Kushina, the Hokage said. You know the rest, the Hokage concluded. Kushina married Minato and I was born, Naruto said, and the Hokage nodded. Naruto didn't say anything during a few minutes as he thought about everything he learned. Wait, but then what about everything I found about the Uzumaki clan and my father's compound? Naruto asked. I chose the Uzumaki name because they were cousins of the Senju clan. During the wars, the Uzumaki clan was destroyed, but your mother and father went to the Whirlpool village and salvaged what they could. That is one of the reasons your father was so good at Fuinjutsu, the Hokage said, and Naruto nodded until he remembered Tsunade. Tsunade is still alive. Did she leave me? Naruto asked, not really wanting to know the answer. Hinata went to him and grabbed his hand. No, the Hokage started. Tsunade lost everything she had. Her lover and brother died in the war. Then the Kyuubi attacked and her daughter also died. She wasn't in the village at the time, but she heard the news and ran. I tried to find her, but I couldn't. She probably doesn't even know Kushina had a child, the Hokage explained. Naruto frowned for a few minutes, thinking about it. Then I'll find her and bring her back to the village, Naruto said with his traditional smile. You took the news better than I expected, the Hokage said. Well, if Tsunade had raised me, I would probably never have found Hinata. Even though I had a hard life, I wouldn't trade her for anything, Naruto said, making the Hokage smile, seeing Naruto has good values. That means Uzumaki isn't even my real name. I kinda grew attached to it, Naruto said. Well, when you choose to reveal your heritage, you'll be able to pick the name you want for your clan, Senju, Namikaze, or even Uzumaki. However, Uchiha you can't, since Sasuke is the heir, the Hokage explained. Like I would want to live with that idiot, Naruto said, laughing, and the Hokage chuckled. So the sword is mine, Naruto started. But what about Tsunade Bachan, isn't she the heir? Naruto asked. The Hokage smiled, seeing Naruto call her Bachan. She hasn't been on active duty in more than 10 years. Since you already completed missions, you are currently the heir, the Hokage explained, and Naruto nodded. Naruto channeled chakra to the sword, but the strangest thing happened. Instead of the usual yellow sparks, the sword flared, but with a bright blue color. The sword was sparkling with a lot more power than the 2 times he saw it. What the hell? Naruto said out loud. Why is it blue? Naruto asked. The Hokage went into professor mode and quickly came up with a theory. Didn't you say that you had high affinity towards lightning? The Hokage asked, and Naruto nodded. Because of your high affinity, the sword probably reacted stronger to your chakra, probably making it more powerful, the Hokage explained. Guess I'm trading up my metal sword, Naruto said, chuckling, and deactivated it. Suddenly Naruto stiffened, and he remembered something. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow, silently asking what happened. I'm just thinking of what the council will say when they find out I belong to the 2 most powerful clans in the world, Naruto said, smirking. It's going to be so much fun, he said, and everyone's sweat dropped. The Hokage simply laughed. The old man hated council meetings, but apparently young Naruto seemed to enjoy them. Chapter 14 Chunin Exams Begin. It was another simple day in Konoha. The sun was rising to new warm day in the Leaf Village. The villagers were starting their own business, and the other shinobi were preparing for their daily lives. Currently we find Naruto and Hinata in Training Ground 8 sparring with Haku and Zabuza. Since Naruto got his sword, the Raijin no Ken, Thunder God Sword, he asked Zabuza for tips so he could rely on Kenjutsu in a real battle. Hinata was fighting Haku in an all-out contest. Haku could only keep up using her ice mirrors, which would lead to quick defeat due to massive chakra usage. Zabuza vs. Naruto. Kenjutsu only, Zabuza said as he was facing Naruto. They were a few meters apart, each one grasping each sword. Could be Kiribocho vs. Thunder God. Agreed, Naruto said and flared his sword to life, blue light emanating from the sword. It was sparkling in all its power. Still not powerful as my preferred weapon, maybe one day I'll use it, but it sticks out too much, Naruto thought. Let's see what you can do, Zabuza said as dashed forward towards to Naruto. He went for a horizontal slash but Naruto blocked. He soon found out it was a bad idea because Zabuza had more brute force than him. Naruto was forced to jump back. Rule number 1, don't block strikes from enemies stronger than you, Zabuza said. Naruto ran towards Zabuza. He jumped in the air and tried a vertical slash. Zabuza sidestepped and tried to kick him in the chest. Naruto blocked and caught his leg through him at the air. Zabuza quickly regained balance and landed gracefully on the ground. Not bad, brat, but if want to beat me in Kenjutsu you need more strength, Zabuza said. I could always beat you in speed, Naruto said smirking and deactivated in gravity seals. Zabuza saw his body lightly glowing and braced himself. Naruto disappeared in a show of speed. Zabuza out of instinct brought his sword up just in time to deflect an attack that would behead him. Naruto disappeared again, and this time Zabuza jumped out of the way just as Naruto came from the sky with a vertical slash. I give it to you, you are fast, but that alone isn't enough. I have years of experience, Zabuza said and readied his sword once again. He dashed forward with impressive speed and exchanged a few blows with Naruto. However, Zabuza just couldn't keep up in speed, and waving around that big sword certainly didn't help. You can't keep up in speed with me, Naruto said and continued to parry his strikes, quickly shifting his position, putting Zabuza on his toes. Zabuza had enough of this. He slowly relaxed, focusing his senses. He realized an attack was coming from the right. He brought his sword up, but instead of simply blocking, he pushed strength into his sword, making Naruto lose his balance. Zabuza took opportunity of this and quickly repositioned his sword at his neck. I win, speed alone isn't enough, Zabuza said, removing the blade from his neck. One of these days I'll defeat you in Kenjutsu, Naruto said, deactivating his sword. Hinata vs. Haku. Ready, Haku-san? Hinata asked, shifting into position and activating her Byakugan. Always, Haku replied, picking up Saban and placing 3 in each hand. Hinata quickly ran towards Haku. She shifted to the left to quickly avoid the Saban thrown. With her Byakugan she could easily track the incoming Saban. Hinata arrived near Haku and went for a Juken strike to the chest. Haku quickly ducked and went for low kick. Hinata jumped up and tried a drop kick, making Haku roll to the left. They both dashed towards each other and exchanged blows. Haku quickly realized that she was no match to Hinata in taijutsu. Hinata was simply avoiding all of her attacks as if she was dancing. Haku tried once again, a punch straight to the face. However, Hinata sidestepped and quickly with an infused strike managed to close a few tenketsus in her wrist. Haku gave up on taijutsu and jumped back, nursing her left hand. Haku started going through one-handed seals and said, Sensatsu Suisho, 1,000 flying water needles of death, and sent countless Saban towards Hinata. Hinata said Kaiten, and started spinning in a blue dome of chakra, completely blocking of the Senbons. Haku took that time and forced chakra towards her tenketsus to painfully open them. Hinata was primarily a water user since it was her first affinity she trained. Since there wasn't a nearby lake, she decided to change the terrain to her advantage. She quickly went through a few hand seals and shouted, Suetun Swishaha, exploding water wave, and pumped her chest full of water, expelling it through her mouth. In a few seconds the training ground was filled with water. That might have been a bad move, Hinata-san. With this much water it's much easier for me to use my ice release, Haku said, but Hinata continued to stare at her, getting ready for her next move. Ice release, flying ice shards, Haku said, and like Hinata she started spinning. However, she wasn't blocking anything. Haku was spinning and water was rising up around her. Suddenly the water around her started freezing, and from it came thousands upon thousands of ice shards. I can't hold up my Kaiten long enough to block all of those, Hinata thought, and started going through hand seals. She stopped and said, Suetun Surgeon Hiki, water wall. Water rose from the ground and wrapped around her, blocking all the ice shards. However, Haku continued to send and Hinata had to do something. I got it, Hinata thought. I hope this works, I haven't completely mastered it. Hinata kept inside the water dome as the shards continued coming. She concentrated and suddenly released a vast amount of lightning chakra that radiated from her body and spread through the water, effectively shocking Haku. That was surprising. I didn't know you could use lightning element, Haku said, lightly twitching. Just discovered it a few weeks ago. Hinata said as she released her protective dome and said, Suetun, Suryatan no Jutsu, water dragon. And a big dragon rose from the ground and rushed Haku. Haku barely managed to create an ice dome around her to shield her from the attack. Haku released her jutsu and looked around, trying to find Hinata. Suddenly behind Haku, Hinata rose from the water, kunai at hand, trying to kill her. Haku sensed her and was faster than her, and, creating an ice blade around her arm, quickly slashed Hinata, making her dispel in a splash of water. Mizubushin, Haku said, surprised, and suddenly felt cold steel at her throat. She realized that Mizubushin was only a distraction. Looks like I win, Hinata said with a small smile. I look forward to next time, Haku said, sitting on the ground slightly out of breath. You okay? Hinata asked, concerned with her. Yes, I'm low on chakra, what about you? Haku asked, surprised that Hinata wasn't even winded, and she used a couple of high chakra demanding jutsu, and that defensive dome is killer on anyone's reserves. When you train for years with a stamina freak and chakra monster, you tend to increase your on reserves if you want to keep up, Hinata said, chuckling, and Haku simply looked, smiling. Haku was happy since she came to the Leaf. She had a simple and peaceful life. No more crappy beds and constantly having to watch out for hunters. Training Ground 8 Kurenai and Shino were approaching their team's training ground when they saw all the commotion. Kurenai and Shino had their jaw on the ground when they saw Naruto hold an own against Zabuza, the 7th swordsman of the mist, and even Hinata using high-ranking water jutsu. I might have to increase my training if I want to have something to teach them, Kurenai said, and Shino only nodded. They really grew into fine young shinobi. Naruto, Hinata, Kurenai said, getting their attention. Zabuza-sensei, see you tomorrow and thank you, Naruto said, and Zabuza simply nodded. Hey Haku, want to stick around? Hinata asked. Sorry, my shift in the hospital starts in a few minutes and later I have my own team meeting, Haku said, and Hinata nodded, and both Zabuza and Haku left the training ground. So Kurenai-sensei, what are we doing today? Naruto asked. Kurenai placed her hand in her pockets and took 3 pieces of paper and gave one to each. These are the inscription papers for the Chunin exams. I nominated you 3, so if want to participate, be at the academy in a week, Kurenai explained. Flashback, the Hokage was in his office and in front of him were all of Konoha's Jonin senseis and a few other shinobi. I called you all here for a reason, the Hokage said. Since the majority were Jonin senseis, many of them already suspected the meaning of this. Is it time already? Kakashi asked, and the Hokage nodded. Yes, tomorrow I will formally announce that this year we are hosting the Chunin exams, the Hokage explained. Now either of you want to nominate teams for the exams? The Hokage asked, and Kakashi, Kurenai, Asuma, and Guy stepped forward. I, Hatake Kakashi, Jonin sensei of Team 7, nominate Uchiha Sasuke, Inuzuka Kiba, and Harino Sakura for the exams, Kakashi said. I, Yuhi Kurenai, Jonin sensei of Team 8, nominate Uzumaki Naruto, Hyuga Hinata, and Aburame Shino for the exams, Kurenai said. I, Mato Guy, Jonin sensei of Team 9, nominate Hyuga Niji, Rock Lee, and Higurashi Tenten for the exams, Guy said in a serious tone that surprised everyone that expected him to start shouting. I, Saratobi Asuma, Jonin sensei of Team 10, nominate Nara Shikamaru, Yamanaka Ino, and Akimichi Chuchi for the exams. Asuma finished and everyone started whispering about all the rookies being nominated. Wait a minute, I understand Naruto and Hinata, but the rest aren't ready for the exams, Irika shouted. Wait, you say that they are unprepared except the dead last and the shy princess, Asuma said, laughing. Hey Asuma, how about a small bet? Kurenai asked, inwardly smirking. What kind of bet? Asuma replied. The team that has more members promoted wins, Kurenai said. What about the odds? Asuma said. How about this, if I win you can't smoke for a month, Kurenai said, and Asuma chuckled. Fine, but if I win I get to take you out on a date, Asuma said, and Kurenai slightly blushed. End flashback. Now how about a few spars with me to see what you learned? I already saw you against Zabuza and Haku, but more training is never bad, Kurenai said, and only after she said that she began wondering if it was a good idea. Okay Kurenai-sensei, you are against me, Naruto said, and Kurenai gulped. Naruto was a chakra monster, and his taijutsu was pretty good, She would have to rely on her genjutsu and hope it was enough. How wrong she was. Can I go all out? Naruto asked, and Kurenai was wondering if she was leaving this alive. Sure, as long as I live, she said, and Naruto chuckled. Get ready, Kurenai-sensei, Naruto said, and dashed forward at blinding speed and crashed into Kurenai, who didn't expect him to be that fast. They tumbled across the ground until they stopped. Damn sorry, Kurenai-sensei, I forgot I disabled my gravity seals, Naruto said, chuckling, and helped Kurenai up, who was still dazed from the impact. You should consider that a taijutsu move, Kurenai said, nursing her head. She felt she was hit with concrete. Here I go, Naruto said. Katon, Kakaku no Jutsu, great fireball technique, and sent a fireball towards Kurenai. She jumped out of the way and flashed through hand seals and started vanishing in the air. Naruto saw this and activated his Sharingan. Behind Naruto, a tree sprouted and wrapped around him. Kurenai quickly appeared in the tree with a kunai, getting ready to stab Naruto. However, Naruto performed the genjutsu counter using his Sharingan, and the illusion was switched, making Naruto in the tree getting ready to kill Kurenai. Kurenai saw this and bit her lip to quickly break the illusion. The illusion broke, and she ducked just in time to avoid a horizontal slash with the Thunder God sword. Naruto saw her ducking. He quickly adjusted and planted a powerful quick in her chest. She was able to block it, but the force was enough to send her tumbling through the ground. Kurenai recovered and threw a couple of shurikens towards Naruto. Naruto had his Sharingan activated and saw that a few of them had no chakra and realized it was an illusion and quickly dispelled it. Kurenai-sensei, genjutsu, it's useless against me. Even the most powerful one is meaningless, Naruto said. Naruto, just because you have the Sharingan it doesn't mean you are immune to them, Kurenai scowled. It's not because of the Sharingan. Since I am in good terms with the Kyuubi, he can disrupt my chakra from the inside, dispelling any illusion, Naruto explained, and Kurenai cursed her luck. There was no way she would win now. She would have to catch him by surprise. They both eyed each other, waiting for the other to make their first move. Neither of them wanted to make the first wrong move. Suddenly Naruto picked a few shurikens and threw them at her, saying, Kage Shuriken no Jutsu, and 5 shurikens multiplied to 100. Naruto went through more hand seals and said, Futon de Tapa, great breakthrough. The shurikens gained incredible speed and rushed towards Kurenai. She didn't have many options to dodge them, so she used Kawarimi with a nearby log. She recovered and searched her surroundings just in time to jump out of the way of a hand that sprouted out of the ground and tried to snatch her. As she jumped back, a presence appeared behind her and said Katsu. The Naruto clone exploded and sent Kurenai crashing into a tree, leaving her drifting in and out of consciousness. Naruto appeared behind her with a kunai to her neck. Congrats, Naruto, you are more than ready for the Chunin exams, Kurenai said weakly. She was almost depleted of chakra and her clothes were singed from the explosion. You aren't in good shape, sensei, Naruto said, and bit his thumb and slammed his hand in the ground, saying, Kuchios no Jutsu, summoning technique. And out came Kagura. Kagura, can you heal Kurenai-sensei? I was a bit rough in the spar, Naruto said, smiling sleeplessly, rubbing the back of his head. A bit rough? You literally blew her up, Kurama said, chuckling. It was only an explosive clone and wasn't fully charged, Naruto replied. Your luck, otherwise you might have killed her. She never stood a chance against someone like you. You have better taijutsu, your ninjutsu is ridiculous, and genjutsu even thought you can't perform that many, you are immune to them, Kurama explained, and Naruto simply nodded. Naruto and Kurenai walked back to the middle of the training ground to see Hinata crouching in the ground healing a passed-out Shino. What happened? Kurenai said, still nursing her ribs that were a bit sore. I used the water jutsu and Shino didn't have time to dodge and crashed into him, knocking him out cold, Hinata explained. Naruto and Kurenai's sweat dropped at the way she casually said it. Okay, you can leave, I'll take Shino home, Kurenai said, and everyone left the training grounds. Middle of Konoha, Naruto and Hinata were walking peacefully through Konoha. They noticed that the glares they received were somewhat different. The glares showed more fear than anything. Hey Haim, is it me or are the glares more discreet? Naruto asked. Yes, they don't seem to openly glare at you now, they seem scared. I wonder why though, Hinata replied. Maybe it was because of my stunt during the council meeting, Naruto said, chuckling, and Hinata giggled. What do you want to do? Naruto asked. I'm kind of hungry since I had 2 matches. How about we go for some cinnamon rolls? Hinata said with watery mouth. You really have a nasty sweet tooth, Naruto said, chuckling. Let's go. They were walking peacefully until they noticed a box following them. Does he really think we didn't notice him? Naruto whispered Hinata. Apparently, she replied. You can come out, Konohamaru, Naruto said. Suddenly the box exploded massive cloud of multicolored smoke. From the smoke appeared 3 kids around the age of 8. The kid in the middle was Konohamaru. He was the grandson of Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Sandaime Hokage. They became rather good friends a few months ago when they met. Flashback. It was the day after Genin graduation and both Naruto and Hinata were standing in front of the Hokage working on their ninja license. Naruto's photograph was rather expressive and the Hokage wanted him to retake the photo. Suddenly the room's door busted open. Naruto didn't even think as he channeled chakra to his storage seals in his wristband and pulled a few shurikens. Hey G-. The kid didn't even manage to say 2 words and he was already frozen. The kid was pinned in the wall with 10 shurikens through his clothing. Now Naruto, what did you do? The Hokage asked with his eyes widened. Naruto was really fast to react. Naruto took a moment to realize that the person who busted through the door was about 8 years old, and in his hand were wooden shurikens. What did you expect, old man? This is what happens when you surprise a shinobi, Naruto said, trying to apologize even though he didn't do nothing wrong. The Hokage just shook his head at the actions of his grandson. Naruto, take him from the wall, the Hokage said. Naruto went towards the kid and removed the shuriken. My bad, kid, thought you shouldn't surprise a shinobi, Naruto said, and the kid continued looking at him. What's your name, boss? Can you teach me that? The kid asked. I'm Naruto, kid, but you should be starting the academy this year, so they will teach that there, Naruto explained. I'm not a kid, I'm Sarutobi Konohamaru, future Hokage of Konoha, the kid now identified as Konohamaru said. Naruto smirked at the kid. He reminded a little of him. Suddenly through the busted door came running a shinobi. Honorable grandson, there you are. Ebisu started until he looked at the room and noticed Naruto. Oh, it's the closet pervert, how are you doing? Naruto asked. I'm not a pervert, you brat, Ebisu said, glaring daggers at him. Whatever you say, Naruto said, and performed one of his most powerful techniques, an SSS rank forbidden jutsu, the technique that shall not be named, the one and only Oiroku no Jutsu. In a poof of smoke appeared a beautiful blonde girl, completely naked except with smoke covering all the important parts. Both the Hokage and Ebisu flew into the air and crashed into the ground, passed out by blood loss. Wow, boss, teach me that jutsu. You managed to defeat the old Hokage and Ebisu sensei at the same time, Konohamaru said. Naruto was about to reply when, Naruto-kun, you aren't teaching him that, are you? Hinata asked in a very sweet voice that made them both back up a few steps. Of course not, Naruto said, nervously scratching the back of his head. Come one time, Konohamaru. Let's leave them on the ground, Naruto said, trying to defuse the situation, and all 3 of them left the room. End flashback. What do you want, Konohamaru? Naruto asked. Do you want to play ninja? Konohamaru asked. Suddenly the 3 of them heard laughter. They turned around to see the pink banshee, Sakura. What kind of ninja plays ninja? Sakura smugly asked. It's pretty fun actually, besides you get to train stealth, traps, strategy and tracking. Hinata explained, and Sakura just got deadpanned. Go away, flat-chested, Konohamaru said, and an immense silence followed. Konohamaru, you should run now, Naruto said as he saw a murderous purple aura around Sakura that would put Orochimaru to shame. Konohamaru gulped and started running with Sakura in hot pursuit. Naruto and Hinata just laughed as they watched Sakura chase Konohamaru. Obviously, Sakura, being a fangirl, had a diet going on to keep her figure, so she barely could keep up with an 8-year-old. Konohamaru was still running. He made a sharp turn and crashed into another shinobi that was around the corner. Damn it, brat, that hurt, the shinobi said, and picked up Konohamaru by the collar, getting ready to apply some punishment. Naruto and Hinata heard the crash and went to investigate. They arrived and saw 2 strange shinobis with sand-high diet. The one holding Konohamaru wore a black, baggy, full-body suit with a red and yellow circle on the front. He also wears a black hood which covered his head completely, and had cat-like ears and his forehead protector on his forehead. He also a bundle in his back with white bandages surrounding it completely. The other shinobi's outfit consists of a single light purple-colored, off-the-shoulders garment that extended to halfway down her thighs, with a scarlet sash tied around her waist. In addition to incorporating fishnet worn over her shoulders and legs, specifically on her right calf and her left thigh, She also wore her black forehead protector around her neck. "Leave the kid alone, Kankuro," the kunoichi in the back said. "I've got to teach him some respect, Temari," Kankuro replied the female shinobi. Fine, but if you get in trouble I'm not helping," Temari replied, and Kankuro nodded, getting ready to smash his fist into Konohamaru. Sakura just watched scared of them until both Naruto and Hinata arrived at the scene. "Hey clown, put Konohamaru down," Naruto said. "Who are you calling clown?" Kankuro asked. You are wearing a full-body cat suit with makeup," Naruto replied. "It's not makeup, it was paint," Kankuro said, getting pissed off. "Whatever you say, just put the brat down," Naruto said, getting ready to spring into action if need be. "I'm teaching him some manners," Kankuro said as he made a fist and prepared to punch Konohamaru. Both Naruto and Hinata vanished in an instant. To any untrained eyes they were blurs. 1 second later Hinata had Temari with a kunai at her throat just as Naruto had Kankuro. Naruto kunais now were all three-pronged with the Hiroshin seal, however none of them recognized it. "Now how about you put him down, gently," Naruto said in his sweetest voice, and a small blood drop fell from Kankuro's neck. Kankuro and Temari were sweating, they didn't see them move, they were just blurs. "Besides, your teammate doesn't seem very happy," Naruto said, pointing towards a nearby tree. Suddenly from behind the tree appeared another sand shinobi. He is a little shorter than the average males of his age. He has fair skin and short, spiky, auburn hair which was sometimes depicted as red. He has green eyes and no distinctive pupils, or eyebrows either. He has two very notable traits in his appearance. Firstly, he has tanuki-like black eye rings, having them since his birth. Secondly, he carved the kanji, love, on the left side of his forehead. "Jiegara," Kankuro said in a dry voice, clearly fearing the shinobi now identified as Gaara. He made a sand shunshin towards his team just as Naruto and Hinata retracted their kunais and regrouped with Sakura and the now released Konohamaru. They managed to get behind Temari and Kankuro. "They're good," Gaara thought. "Stop this or I'll kill you," Gaara said, and Kankuro took a step back. "IW was just teaching them a lesson," Kankuro shakily said. "Shut up, you are a disgrace to our village," Gaara said in his usual cold tone. "You know," Naruto said, getting attention from the redhead. "It's nice to meet you, Ichi-1," Naruto said, and Sand Team froze. They knew very well what he meant. "How do you know?" Gaara asked. Naruto simply turned around to show them the kanji for 9 written in his back. "The furball says that the tanuki is one crazy bastard," Naruto said. "Mother says you are strong. I'll prove my existence by killing you," Gaara said, unleashing killer intent as the sand was starting to leave his gourd and dance around him. Poor Sakura was on the ground, barely managing to breathe from the amount of killer intent. Naruto simply applied his own that overwhelmed Gaara's ki to the point that his team took a step back. Temari and Kankuro were just shitting their pants. Here it was a Jinchuriki like their brother, but he had the strongest of the demons, the Kyubi no Yoko. Suddenly another team arrived where they were. But his team was from the Cloud Village, and they were being accompanied by what seemed to be their Jonin sensei. He has dark skin and a muscular build, as well as white hair and a goatee. On his right shoulder, he has a tattoo with the kanji for iron, and on his left cheek, he has a tattoo of a bull's horn. His top lip also has a slightly darker hue than his bottom one. He wears oval-shaped sunglasses and a white-colored forehead protector. He also has his village's standard one-strap-over-one-shoulder flak jacket, and a long, red rope belt tied around his waist, the standard Kumo hand and shin guards, shinobi sandals, and a white scarf around his neck. He also carries 7 swords on his back. The rest of his team, they were 2 girls and a boy. One of the girls had long, straight blonde hair bound with taut bandages and dark eyes. She wore a short-sleeved black and purple blouse and black pants, both of which had a design similar to clouds on them, purple fingerless gloves, and a chain of white beads wound around her left hand. She also wore the standard Kumo forehead protector, sandals, and kunai holster which was strapped to her right thigh. She also wore bandages around her arms and legs as well as a red belt around her waist. The other girl is a dark-skinned kunoichi with long red hair and amber eyes. She wears a long, short-sleeved dress with frilly edges complete with the Kumogakure flak jacket, 2 simple yellow earrings, fishnet stockings, thigh-high boots with white soles, and a forehead protector which she wears like a bandana. She also carries a long sword on her back. The final member was male. He is a dark-skinned Kumonin with short, spiky, white hair and dark eyes accentuated with lines curving upwards from the corners. He wears a dark outfit consisting of an overlong shirt with a hood, with red bandage hand guards, Kumobiku shin guards, and a black forehead protector. He also carries a long sword on his back like her teammate. As usual, the Kyuubi instantly warned Naruto of the others. "Is this a reunion?" Naruto asked and turned to the Kumo team. "Nice to meet you, too, 8. I'm Uzumaki Naruto," Naruto said. Sakura and Konohamaru were oblivious to what was happening, but the rest could feel the tension arise between the teams. Kumo tried to kidnap Hinata when she was 6, so both of them were a bit weary of them, and Gaara seemed that he was about to jump in and attack all of them. "Nice to meet you too, Mr. 9. I fly like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I'm the Jinchuriki of the Hachibi, the mighty killer bee," B shouted, pumping his fist into the air. "Shut up, B," the blonde girl yelled and bonked him in the head. "I'm Yujito," she said. Oma said. Karui said. Suddenly another team joined the fray as her team sensed the tension anywhere in the village. "Do you mind if I joined a party?" a girl with green hair asked. Everyone turned to the newcomers and both Naruto and Hinata said, "Fuh," surprised to see her. "I guess everyone here is going to the Chunin exams?" Naruto asked and everyone nodded. "It should be fun. It seems to be plenty of competition around," Naruto said and a few smirked. The sand around Gaara just seemed to dance around him even more when he noticed the arrival of the Kumo team. Kankuro and Temari were sweating bullets as they noticed the smile on Gaara's face. Kakashi, Kiba and Sasuke soon arrived when they sensed the killer intent being radiated by Gaara and Naruto when they met. "Hey Kakashi Nizan," Naruto said. "What's going on here?" Kakashi said as he noticed what seemed to be some sort of face-off. There was a team from Kumo, Sand and Taki. He also sensed some tension in the air between all of them. "Kakashi-sensei, you better train your team if you want them to survive. I can guarantee you right now that everyone here will reach the finals," Naruto said, and everyone smirked except Team 7 and Kakashi, who were still oblivious to what was happening. "What makes you think that?" Kakashi asked, and Naruto chuckled. "What's so funny, Dobe?" Sasuke asked. "Nothing," Naruto replied. "Kakashi-sensei," Naruto said, getting his attention. "Ichi 1, Naruto said, pointing to Gaara. "And I too," Naruto said, pointing to Yujito. "Nana 7, Naruto said, pointing to Fu. "Achi 8, Naruto said, pointing to Killer B. "Q 9, Naruto said, pointing to himself. When Naruto finished, Kakashi's eyes widened. In front of him were 5 of the 9 Jinchurikis. It was extremely rare for them to meet by chance, but it appears that fate played a hand in this. "Don't try to look cool like Sasuke-kun," Sakura yelled. "Shut it, Sakura. I'm allowing you to go into the Chunin exams, but if you see any of these teams, you surrender immediately. Do I make myself clear?" Kakashi asked in a serious tone, and she nodded. "Like they can win against me, and Uchiha," Sasuke said with his traditional arrogant smirk. "I'll enjoy spilling your noble blood, Uchiha," Gaara said, and everyone got shivers. "The fur ball is right, you are a crazy tanuki," Naruto said, and Yujito, Fu and B snickered. "It's been fun. See you at the exams," Naruto said and left with Hinata. The rest soon dispersed and went to their business. With Team 7, I was serious when I said that. If you run into any of those teams, you run. Do I make myself clear? Kakashi asked, and both Kiba and Sakura quickly nodded. "HN," was the Uchiha's response. "Let's go train. You need to be more prepared for this," Kakashi said and dragged his team to the training grounds. Naruto and Hinata, who knew that there would be so many of us competing. Naruto said. "The exams will prove to be interesting," he said. "Don't tell me you want to fight them?" Hinata asked. "Of course, all of the Jinchurikis tend to be strong. It's no fun fighting weak opponents," Naruto said, and Hinata just shook her head. "Let's go. I'm teaching you a few tricks against Jinchurikis since you might need them against 3 of them," Naruto said. "Sand team, Gaara, I think we should avoid that blonde kid," Kankuro said. "He was fearful from both of them." "Shut up, I'll enjoy spilling his blood as the Uchihas." "Yes, I shall prove my existence with their blood," Gaara said. "Kumo team, that blonde kid seems strong," Yujito started. "Do you think he can work with the Kyuubi?" she asked. "Hachibi says that the Kyuubi never got along with his host, but we better hope he can't. Even the Hachibi can't go against him," Killer B said. What if we end up facing them in the Chunin exams and then he unleashes the Kyuubi leading to the destruction of the Leaf Village? Almost said, getting a smack from Karui. But the way he knew of all of us, it seems that he at least talks with him. Just be careful. He said for the first time without rhymes. Taki team. How do you know the blonde kid? One of Foot teammates asked. I escorted his team to our village in one mission, Fu explained. But be careful, he faced and defeated a Konoha Nukenin named Aoi who was a Jonin, she said, and her teammate's eyes bulged out. Did he use Kyuubi's power? The other teammate asked. No, I didn't sense nothing at all, it was all him, so let's be careful around him. Also the girl is his girlfriend, but she also took down a Jonin. So we must be on our toes with his team, Fu explained, and they dumbly nodded. 1 week later, Naruto and Hinata were at home getting ready for going to the academy to start their exam. Both of them had new wristbands with storage seals for shurikens, saban, kunais, and their swords. Each one also carried another scroll a bit larger with food supplies, first aid kits, a few poisons, and general antidotes. Anything you might need, you never know what would happen or what kind of test they would face. You ready? Hinata asked. Yes, let's go kick some ass, Naruto replied and left the house heading towards academy. They arrived at the academy using a shunshin and noticed that Shino was already there waiting for them. Sorry we are late, it took a while to gather the supplies, Naruto said. Not a problem. Let's go, Shino said. The three of them entered the academy. Team 8 came inside the academy to find their sensei waiting for them. Kurenai-sensei, what are you doing here? Naruto asked. I'm here to say good luck. I'm glad all of you decided to participate, Kurenai explained. Thank you, sensei. We are going to kick ass, Naruto said, and Kurenai smiled. Team 8 continued through the academy heading towards the designated room, which was room 1 in the 3rd floor. They arrived and noticed a small gathering of genin teams trying to enter the exam room. Genjutsu, Hinata whispered to her team, and both nodded their heads. It's your cousin's team. They must be trying to downplay their skill, Naruto said. Just as they were about to leave to the next floor, since this room was the wrong one and was being masked by a small genjutsu, Team 7 arrived with their noses held high. Drop this genjutsu now, Sasuke commanded. That idiot, Naruto thought as Hinata and Shino thought along the same lines. My failure of a cousin, what are you doing here? Neji asked in his confident tone. Neji was Hinata's cousin and was hailed as a Hyuga prodigy. Little did he know. Neji had long, black hair that reached the middle of his back and was tied back a few inches above the end in a loose ponytail, while two straps attached to a smaller headband underneath his ninja forehead protector framed the sides of his face. He wore a black forehead protector that he wore snugly over his forehead. He wore a khaki shirt, under which he wore a dull blue shirt with a mesh armor underneath it, dark brown shorts, blue shinobi sandals. He also had bandages wrapped around his right arm, chest, and right leg. Participating in the Chunin exams, of course, she explained. She seems different, at least her stuttering has gone, Neji thought. It's worthless, you are fated to be a loser and a worthless kunoichi, Neji smugly replied. I don't believe in fate, and I shall rise above it as should you. No one controls our destiny. We alone make our decisions, Hinata explained, trying to reach her knucklehead of a cousin. Not possible. You cannot change fate, and I shall prove it in these exams, Neji said and walked off. Hinata just shook his head. I guess we will have to beat him to prove it that fate doesn't mean anything, Naruto said, and Hinata simply nodded. Neji wasn't a bad person, he was just blinded by his hate towards the main branch of the Hyuga family. Another member of Neji's team approached forward, heading towards Team 7 and Team 8. He possesses very thick eyebrows and large, rounded black eyes with prominent lower eyelashes. His hair is cut and styled into a bowl-cut style like guy, and he also began wearing the same attire, consisting of a green jumpsuit, orange leg warmers, and a red forehead protector worn as a belt. Holy shit, it's a clone of Guy! Naruto all but shouted. I see you know of my youthful sensei Mato Guy. I'm Rock Lee, it's a pleasure to meet such youthful person. Lee yelled, making a few bring their hands to their ears, thinking it was a futon jutsu. Yeah, sure. Nice to meet you, I'm Uzumaki Naruto, Naruto said and extended his hand that Lee gladly took. Are you Uchiha Sasuke? Lee asked to duck-shaped-haired shinobi that was standing nearby. In fact, anyone would know who he was since he had the Uchiha crest in his shirt and was the last Uchiha in Konoha. Said boy turned to face him and merely nodded. I wish to fight you, Lee said with his trademark nice guy pose. You know who I am and yet you want to fight. You are fool, but it might be a good warm-up, Sasuke said. Come, I want to watch this, Naruto said, and Team 7 and Team 8 left with Lee to watch the match. Dobe, watch carefully, you might learn something, Sasuke smugly said to Naruto, who was standing in the balcony. I intend to, Naruto replied, chuckling, and activated his Sharingan, hiding under its usual genjutsu. Both Sasuke and Lee were facing each other with the rest of Team 7 nearby. With Team 8, strange, Naruto thought as he analyzed Lee with his Sharingan. Haim, can you check Lee's chakra levels? Naruto asked, and Hinata nodded. She activated her Byakugan as gasped. I think he can't use chakra. His chakra pathways are too small. He probably can't mold chakra, Hinata explained. Lee was basically a civilian. I thought so. If he can't use genjutsu or ninjutsu, he can only resort to taijutsu, so he must be good, Naruto said as he watched the beginning of the fight. Sasuke versus Lee. Sasuke ran forward and tried to punch Lee. However, he disappeared just as Sasuke's fist was about to connect. Sasuke regained his footing just in time to see Lee in the air about to spin. Konoha Senpu, Leaf Whirlwind, Lee said, and spin, trying to kick Sasuke. Sasuke ducked to avoid it. Lee, watching Sasuke duck, placed his hand on the ground and went for another spinning kick. Sasuke watched him and knew he wouldn't be able to dodge, but tried to block. Lee, however, was faster, and his kick connected with Sasuke's face and sent him tumbling to the ground hard. A good opponent. It gives me the opportunity to try this, Sasuke said, and looked arrogantly to Lee. With Team 8. Oh, Sasuke managed to activate his precious Sharingan, Naruto said. 2 tomos in each eye, not bad. Lee versus Sasuke. With these eyes, I'm undefeatable, Sasuke smirked. So that's the Sharingan, Lee said, and got ready to continue his duel. Sasuke ran forward, confident of his superiority. Lee dashed forward but managed to bypass his defenses. Lee stood next to Sasuke. He bent down and gave him a kick in the chin that sent him into the air and crashing into the ground again. Sasuke got up, wondering what was going on, and ran again towards Lee. They faced each other, but Lee won every single skirmish, often sending him tumbling to the ground. Sasuke's Sharingan was rendered useless. With Team 8. Figures, Sasuke doesn't stand a chance, Naruto said. But shouldn't the Sharingan be able to track him? Hinata asked. The Sharingan can track Lee, however Sasuke isn't fast enough to position himself to block the attacks. Even though Sasuke can clearly see Lee's attacks, he can't defend himself against them. There is a reason why I train my body and use gravity seals. The Sharingan alone doesn't make you all-powerful, Naruto explained. So there is a weakness in those eyes, Chino stated. The weakness per se doesn't stem from the eyes, but from the fact that Sasuke's body isn't trained to handle those speeds, so he can't match them. Let's leave, this fight is over, Naruto said, and Team 8 left towards the exam room since it was about to start. Exam room. Team 8 arrived to the right floor. They stopped near the exam room and opened the doors. They stepped in and were immediately blasted with killer intent. However, to someone that felt the Kyuubi's killer intent, something like this didn't even bother them. Naruto entered the room and scanned it with his Sharingan hidden, taking as many faces as possible and watching weapons and other details that he could find. He also noticed the team from Kumo, Taki, and Sand. Moments later, Team 7 also arrived with Sasuke in bad shape. He had his right cheek bruised, and neither of them knew any type of medical jutsu, so it remained there. Looks like the gang is all here, Kiba said as they entered the room and saw Team 7 and Team 10. Sasuke, do you want me to heal your face? Hinata asked. After everything she suffered, she remained a kind person. This scratch is meaningless, Sasuke said. My Sasuke is so strong, Sakura thought as she wandered in her thoughts about healing her Uchiha. Sasuke Kyuin? Ino yelled as she ran to hug the poor Uchiha from behind, much to the displeasure of Sakura. I thought you wouldn't be coming, Whiskers, a girl said. Everyone turned around and saw Yujito making her towards Naruto with her team. Whiskers? Now that is a good name, Hinata said, laughing. Don't you dare, Naruto said, pointing to her. What are you going to do? Hinata asked in a teasing voice. Naruto simply shrugged it, walked to her, and planted a full kiss in her lips that left her dazed. Wow, do I get one of those every time I call you Whiskers? Hinata wondered with a finger in her chin, making her very cute. Get a room, you too, Ino said, making both of them blush. Just my luck, Yujito pouted. The cute guys are always taken, keep it down. some guy said. Everyone turned to face him. He wore a pair of circular glasses. He has onyx eyes and ash gray hair, which he kept in a ponytail that extends to his upper back, with his bangs framing either side of his forehead. He wore a dark purple shirt with a high collar, a white undershirt, dark purple fingerless gloves with armored plates on the back of the hand, a white cloth waistband worn at an angle, dark purple pants, blue sandals, and a shuriken holster on his right leg. You are putting everyone on their toes. Everyone is nervous as it is, the man said as he pointed to the Aimnin present in the room. Who are you? Sakura asked. I'm Yakushi Kabuto, but you are rookies, so it figures that you don't know this. Kabuto explained. Have you already tried the exam? Sakura asked. Actually, this is my 7th try. Kabuto explained sheepishly, rubbing the back of his head. Man, you must be weak, Kiba said. These exams aren't easy, maybe I can share some information with you. Kabuto started and took deck-o cards from his pockets. These are chakra cards, they react to my chakra signature and reveal the information. As you can see, there are teams from all the countries except IWA and Kiri. As expected, IWA hates Konoha and Kiri is in civil war. I can also give you some information on anyone here. Kabuto concluded, and Naruto got suspicious. How could Kabuto have information on shinobi from other villages? However, he decided to test his theories. Then, I want to know about Nijito of Kumo and Sabaku no Gara from Suna, asked Naruto, and Yujito crossed her arms. You could always ask, Yujito said. Yes, but you could lie, Naruto replied, and she huffed. Let's start with Sabaku no Gara, son of the Kazekage. His team is composed of his brother Sabaku no Kankuro and his sister Sabaku no Temari and their Jonin sensei Baki. His skills are all unknown. He completed 10 D ranks, 15 C ranks and 1 B rank. There is a note that says he returned from all missions without a scratch. Looks like there are some strong people this year, Kabuto said, and a few shivered. Now Nijito from Kumo. She is on a team with Omoi and Karui, and their Jonin sensei is Killer B. The card shows she has very good taijutsu and ninjutsu, and no talent in genjutsu. She completed 10 D ranks, 5 C ranks, and 2 B ranks. What is up with genins and their missions? Kabuto said, and Naruto chuckled. Now I want some info too about Uzumaki Naruto of Konoha, Yujito said, and Kabuto picked his card. Uzumaki Naruto of Konoha. He is on a team with Yuga Hinata and Aburame Shino under Yuhi Kurenai, Konoha's genjutsu mistress. He's the academy dead last with low taijutsu, medium ninjutsu, and no talent in genjutsu, but there is a note that says he created an S-ranked right-on jutsu. Kabuto started, and everyone's eyes widened, and Yujito narrowed her eyes at him. Now mission 65 D ranks, 14 C ranks, 1 B rank, 1 A rank, and what the hell is this? 2 S rank missions, Kabuto explained, and everyone was mopping the floor with their jaws. A genin with A and S rank mission is unheard of. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Kabuto. One of those S rank missions was supposed to be a secret. That kid is a mystery, dead last, and yet has some high missions, Yujito thought. S ranks. How are you still alive? Kiba yelled. Keep it down. Can't tell, S rank secret punishable by death, Naruto said, and everyone just stared at him. But I can explain the other mission if anyone wants a kenjutsu spar, Naruto said, smirking. Did you really create an S rank right-on jutsu? Yujito asked. Right-on jutsu is her village specialty, and S rank moves are rare independent of the type. Naruto simply nodded, and everyone was having their doubts. It's true, I saw it, Kiba said, and everyone turned to him. It was awesome. He sent some white ball to the sky, and then thunders formed. Then he somehow commanded the thunder, and he attacked the bridge and blew everything around it, killing about 100 thugs and destroying the bridge. Kiba explained, and everyone stared at the blonde, who was getting uncomfortable and even more suspicious of Kabuto. If he's the dead last, I don't even want to know about the Rookie of the Year. Kabuto and Sasuke smirked, getting a confidence boost. You know, kid, he smells of snakes. Something isn't right here, Kurama said, and Naruto made mental note to send a spy fox later on. Silence. Now SIT down and let's begin the exam. Ibiki yelled, and everyone quieted down and turned to face Ibiki, who was standing in the entrance of the room with a few chunin around. Show your ID and pick your number to be cited, then we will begin the written exam, Ibiki explained. Written exam? That sucks, Naruto thought. A few minutes later, everyone was cited with their test in front of them but face down. All around the classroom were chunins with few boards. Surprisingly enough, Hinata managed to sit right next to Naruto. This test has a few rules. Number 1. Each one starts with 10 points. Each wrong question deduces 1 point. Number 2. The total score is based on your whole team. Ibiki explained and a few gasped. Kiba, you better pass, otherwise I'll kill you, Sasuke thought. Kiba, seeing the glares from his teammates, started to sweat. Number 3. Each time you are caught cheating you lose 2 points. Get caught 5 times and your team is automatically failed. The last question is answered last. You have 45 minutes to answer the 10 questions. Start, Ibiki said. Naruto picked up his pencil and turned his sheet only to be faced with extremely hard questions. What the hell is this? These questions aren't for Genin, Naruto thought and looked around the classroom. Everyone seemed to be lost except for a few that were writing. I know some, but I bet 90% of the people here can't answer a single one. Something isn't right here, Naruto thought and began pondering what Ibiki said. Naruto knew that Ibiki was the leader of the torture and interrogation division, and he focused on mental torture. If you get caught cheating you lose points. Now I get it, we are meant to cheat but without getting caught. Must be some information gathering exercise, Naruto thought and looked around the classroom. He noticed that Hinata had her Byakugan activated and was already starting to write. Shino was using his bugs to scout for anyone with answers. Kiba was using a camera that was on his head, high enough to spot someone else's sheet. Tenten was using mirrors on the ceiling so she could get the reflection of another Genin. Sakura was writing. Since she was a bookworm, she could easily answer the exam. Sasuke had his Sharingan activated and was copying someone's hand movements. Naruto waited a few minutes until he spotted someone lowering their exam sheet, signaling that he was finished. They must have placed a few chunins around to answer the exams, Naruto thought. Now, how to cheat? I don't want to copy hand movements, it's lame. I know, Naruto thought and activated his EMS and very quickly used his Kamui and sent his own sheet to his own personal pocket dimension. Naruto focused on the Chunin sheet and used Kamui to swap the papers. Naruto took the sheet from his personal dimension and placed it on the table. He simply erased the Chunin's name and wrote his own. Naruto lowered his head and decided to sleep until the first part of the exams was over. Now that the weak are sorted out, let's begin the last question. However, this one has its own rules. Ibiki started and everyone focused on him. Number 1. You can choose if you want or not to answer the question, Ibiki said. What happens if we choose not to answer it? Temari asked. If you choose not to answer, you automatically fail, Ibiki explained. Then of course we will answer it, someone replied. However, if you chose to answer it and get it wrong, you will fail and forever be unable to retake the Chunin exams, meaning you will be Genin for life, Ibiki explained. What? Someone yelled. You can't do that, there are people in here who are retaking the exam, Kiba said. I guess you guys have bad luck, might test my rules. If you don't want to risk it, then give up, Ibiki said, and everyone started pondering and a few started leaving. A few minutes later, Ibiki noticed that Naruto was almost half asleep and tossed a kunai that landed in front of him. Naruto didn't even flinch. Wake up, Naruto, Ibiki yelled. Just get it over with. Naruto started and Ibiki raised an eyebrow. I don't give and I never surrender. Even if I stay Genin from life, then I'll be the first Genin Hokage, Naruto said, smirking. Ibiki looked around the room and noticed that the rest of the Genins got somewhat inspired by his little speech. If no one wants to leave, then there is only one last thing to say. You all pass, Ibiki said. What? Why? Kiba asked. You seem to have figured it out, Ibiki said, pointing to Naruto. He sighed and started. The first part of the exam was information gathering. If you recall, Ibiki said if we get caught cheating we lose points. That could only mean that we were meant to cheat without getting caught. Information is half the battle. The last part was to know if we had the guts to be Chunin. You can't abandon a mission just because it might be hard. A Chunin is expected to lead, and as so he must inspire confidence and courage in his team, Naruto explained, and most of the rookies stared at him as if he grew a second head. Precisely, Ibiki said, until something came crashing through the window. Everyone watched as someone entered flying through the windows. As it reached the middle of the classroom, it opened to show a woman. She sent 2 kunais to the ceiling to secure what appeared to be a sign. Proctor of the second round MIT dash. Anko started yelling but was cut off by Naruto. Anko, Naruto said, waving his arm. Damn it, Naruto, you ruined my entrance. Anko yelled at him. Come on, don't be mad, Anko-chan. Anko said with emphasis on the last part. I'll kill you later, brat. Now everyone to the training ground 44. Be there in 20 minutes or you fail. Gio. Anko said, and everyone left the room in a hurry. Naruto and Hinata just shined there.